When the high school football playoffs begin, you can always expect a big crowd on hand at Memorial Stadium and some great defensive work for the defensive linemen of the Hilltoppers. They've been showing it all year long, and that's been setting up the picks by the secondary for the defensive stars of Joliet Catholic Academy. And that, of course, turns things over to the offense. The man of the year has been running back junior Mike Ulstad. He has been running for touchdowns all season long, 18 in all, including 3 in last week's quarterfinal win against Woodstock. That sets the stage for the semifinal battle here at Joliet Memorial Stadium against the Leo Lions. Bob Stone, 12-0 on the year, against the 11-1 Lions of Leo High School, the Chicago Catholic League, and veteran coach Bob Foster. The winner from here goes on to Hancock Stadium in Bloomington Normal for the JCA Class A football final. Well, hello again, everyone. I'm Joe Passion, along with Mac McLaughlin, and we've come to the final high school football game of the week on Channel 15. And as many expected, it would be a great battle between one of our local teams. And Joliet Catholic represents Will County in their attempts to go back downstate and possibly capture a record 7th football state championship. And I guess they've got all things going, including the weather.
Great weather. They've had 3 playoff games, and the weather's been tremendous. It'll be a big help for Joliet Catholic.
Well, certainly one of the things that Joliet Catholic has to be concerned with, and that is tying up the all-state running back, Chicago's Sun-Times Player of the Year, number 44 for Leo, running back Corey Rogers. How are they going to do it, Coach?
Well, it's called a help defense. You hang on to him and just wait for help to come in. They're going to have to surround him and let him just play tag with him because he's a great back. But he's not the only threat they have. They have a fine fullback and a great quarterback with great speed. So they have to pay a lot of attention to every member of that explosive backfield.
Of course, one of the aspects that Leo has to also be concerned with defensively is how to stop Joliet's junior running back star, Mike Ulstad. He has been a stud all year long and scoring 18 touchdowns and has proven time in and time again that he's the guy you got to stop. That will be their main concern on defense. How they'll do it? They'll bring their people up front and try and close off the running game by the Hilltoppers inside and force them to go outside. If they do, of course, Lynch could be there. A couple of injury updates. Fullback Brian Holman will suit up, will not start. He still has a deep thigh bruise. Purcell will start in his place, number 31, at a 5'9", 180-pound senior. And Darren Freeman, the outstanding senior wideout, has had his ankle taped up, but he has practiced, says he's ready to go today and run some football for the Hilltoppers.
And that's a big factor. Darren Freeman should be a big key to this game. He's going to have to throw the ball. Coach Stone's have to come out to this trick bag, do everything, be very versatile, and get also up the ball as many times as he can, but look for Freeman to be a big-time player in this game.
We talked to both coaches just moments ago about their concerns for today's game, and you can imagine one of the biggest concerns Bob Foster is to stop the bigger Hilltopper team.
Well, particularly their size, and you know, people are saying that they're slow. We looked at them on film, and they're as quick and as mobile as most teams we've played this year. So that certainly isn't going to be an advantage for us. It is, however, our forte is our speed and our quickness, and hopefully we're going to take advantage of that.
Everyone here today, I'm sure, has heard of Corey Rogers, but you've got a lot more. How does the team rally around the publicity that Corey's gotten this year?
Well, they feel pride in that, and we think that whenever Corey gets any kind of accolades or any honors, that we're all going to get that pat on the back, and we're all a part of that effort.
What concerns you most about Leo, because we know they're more than just Corey Rogers?
Right, just their total team speed, both offensively and defensively. Corey Rogers is the main threat. The fullback can hurt you. The quarterback's quick. And then if you get too concerned with them running the ball all the time, they go for the home run on play-action pass. You know, they're not going to try to pick you passing, but they're going to fake the Rogers, fake to the other backs, and then come up throwing the ball deep down the field. Defensively, they chase you all over. You can't run side to side on them. You have to run at them.
Home field has been very, very good to Joliet Catholic for years. How big of an advantage will it be today for Joliet in this big game?
Well, you know, I think it'd be an advantage because our fans will be here and our kids will be relaxed playing on here. You know, I don't know if them coming here is any disadvantage to them, but I think it obviously helps us to be at home.
A beautiful, crisp Indian summer afternoon here in mid-November in Joliet for the 4A semifinal. The winner here between Joliet Catholic and Leo will advance on to Normal for a Friday night 7 o'clock kickoff against the winner of the other semifinal, pitting Geneseo and Carbondale, two other great downstate teams. Great weather and a packed house. How valuable is that really for Joliet?
Well, the key thing is the comfortability. Joliet Catholic is very comfortable. They have their home crowd, the home field. They played on this field for all year, so that helps out. They're more relaxed, and the big time in a big game like this, the more relaxed you are, the less mistakes you're going to make.
All right, hold on to the popcorn. We're coming back with the starting lineups and today's opening kickoff between the Hilltoppers and the Lions in the 4A semifinal playoff game.
Pizza called. What's the matter, you? You like a cold pizza?
Oh, no,
try it.
It's hard.
It's hard. What's the matter, you? It's a pizza by Marcelloni. You like a cold pizza?
No.
Pizza by Marcelloni is made of fresh. Everything is fresh. It's good, no?
Right.
It's a pizza by Marcelloni. Hey, I thought you made us a special.
Marcelloni.
Continental Cablevision reminds you of our commitment to the future. Don't you think it should stay this way? Earth Day. Make it happen every day, because there is nowhere else to go. You're watching WCTV Channel 15 for all the best in local sports, community programming, and special event coverage.
Here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Welcome to the Class 4A football semifinals. It pits the 11-1 Leo Lions of the Chicago Catholic League against the East Suburban Catholic Conference champions of Joliet Catholic Academy and Coach Bob Stone, who come in ranked number 2 in the area, number 1 possibly in Illinois in some polls in 4A, and unbeaten at 12-0. Hello again, everyone. Joe Passion along with Coach Mac McLaughlin, the former head football coach at Joliet Central High School. And although we are getting no picture on our TV monitor, the picture here at Joliet Memorial Stadium is one of a beautiful sunshine, crisp afternoon. Very little wind. The wind that is coming out is coming from the far side of the field toward the Joliet Catholic side at just about 5-7 miles an hour. The flag was dead earlier, but nothing was dead about the coin flip. Joliet Catholic decides they will kick today, and Jeff Bonebread will be kicking for the Hilltoppers. He is number 8, and he will be kicking deep to Corey Rogers on the 10-yard line on the far side of the field. And Rogers is like Ruggie Bishnell of Notre Dame. Just don't kick to him. And Joliet Catholic shows that philosophy right away. The ball is fumbled momentarily to 25. open and across to the 40-yard line. Come the Leo Lions on the return. Number 30 is the man returning the football, and that is Teron Kane, a 6'2", 210 senior. Let's go right away to the starting lineups for the Leo offense. They are quarterbacked by a junior, Jason Cook, 5'9", 170 pounds. Kane, number 30, is the fullback. He is known as the blocking back for number 44, Corey Rogers, but Kane also very fast and can carry the ball. The wideouts are number 13, Sheldon Matthews, and number 8, Kahari Jones. Number 37, Mike Anderson, is the tight end. And the front line for the Lions at 11-1 coming into this ball game. Andy Nevin, a junior, is the center. All seniors the rest of the way across. Calvin Moore and Singleton on the right side, and Cook and Johnson on the left side. The Lions in their white jerseys with the black and orange trim. The Hilltoppers are in their brown jerseys with the gold and white trim. And they give it to Rogers. He is thrown for a loss on the first play of the game.
And there we saw a great example of what the Joliet Catholic defense is attempting to do. They're going to crash those ends as tough as they can and fight that double team. And that time they came blitzing through that line, throwing Corey Rogers for the big loss, and show them that they're going to have to do something else besides pitch to Corey Rogers and get to the outside.
The G-man, Eric Gray, was the man back there making the arrest behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 35. The Lions moving from our right to our left here in the first quarter. Again, the pitch out to Rogers. This time he's got some running room across the 40, inside the 50, the 40, the 30. He cuts back. He's inside the 20, and he is going to go all the way. A touchdown, Leo. And that's where Corey Rogers has brought down the house many a game this year, his 22nd touchdown of the season.
And the key to that was they did not stay in their lanes. One thing that the defense wanted to do was contain him, make him come back inside. Well, great cutback speed by Corey Rogers, one of the outstanding players in the state of Illinois, going all the way. We see the pitch, a missed tackle on the edge here. We just overran themselves, and there he goes with his great speed of 4.45. There's nobody in that defensive backfield that can catch him, although number 21 had a shot. And great run by Snyder downfield to try and get him, with Corey Rogers in for the TD.
A 65-yard touchdown pass, and he has scored 10 two-point conversions. He'll try again here, but the Hilltoppers cover up. Trenter is in there to make the stop along with Gray and Rampa. But the damage has been done, and with just less than 2 minutes to play in this 4A semifinal game, a 65-yard touchdown run by the Sun-Times Player of the Year, Corey Rogers, has put Leo on the board 6-0.
And the people here on our side, the Catholic High side, are a little stunned, as they didn't expect that to happen so quickly. But the Leo crowd brought a good crowd with them, stood up and roared. They see their favorite Lion run down the field for that touchdown. What they've got to do is contain him, and by containing him, they've got to harass him in the backfield, but stay in the lanes. And again, the offense has got to score. They've got to keep the ball and march down the field also.
We saw your big brother, Corey McLaughlin, the defensive coordinator for Joliet Catholic, on the sideline, imparting that very same message to the Hilltoppers, who will receive the football. Deep to receive is Freeman, and number 9, Tony Hafner. Hafner gets the ball across the 20. He's still on his feet to the 25-yard line. Tony Hafner, who many had thought might be the starting quarterback this year, a tremendous athlete, and certainly will take over at QB next year. For now, he gets an opportunity to run back the kickoff for the Hilltoppers to the 26-yard line. The Joliet offense is led by senior quarterback Jason Edlow, number 12. In the backfield is Jim Lynch and Mike Elsut. Jeff Pucell is the starting fullback in place of the injured Brian Holman, who has an injured thigh muscle, but he will be playing throughout the game. Bonebrake and Freeman are the wideouts. Chris Allen will also see a lot of duty out there in the front line of Spollock, McGraw, Gray, Schmidt, and Horn. 1st and 10 Hilltoppers from their own 26. The handoff is to Elsut. He's across the 30 to the 34-yard line. The defensive starters for Leo, and they are big up front, folks. The ends, Singleton and Anderson, and then Pritchett, 6'1", 270. Spivey, 6'2", 352 pounds. Spivey is just a junior. Turner, Morris, Anderson, and Glover are the linebackers, and the Joneses are in the secondary. Two of them are brothers. And it's again a run back by Alstott, and he is out to the 40-yard line. He fumbled the ball momentarily, but recovers at the 41. First down, Hillman.
Well, the Hillmen are going to do it a little slower than Leo, it seems like, because we're featuring two of the finest backs we've seen this year, and that run the ball in the state, and Alstott and Rogers. And Alstott, he doesn't take a backseat to anyone with his fine running. He's a tough, short yardage runner that can break all the way also.
Mike Alstott this year, 1,560 yards rushing. He gets the ball again. He's inside the 50 to the 47-yard line. Mike Alstott breaks open for 13-yard gain and another first down rushing.
And again, we talked about this, putting him in the eye back where he can see those holes, and that's what happened this year. Without the big fullback, they put him in the eye, and there he is breaking tackles and just chugging along down the field, twisting and turning. Fine example of what Mike Alstott can do when he handles the ball. And he has to handle that ball today 20 to 25 times.
Corey Rogers carried the ball the first 3 times for Leo. The last one went for a touchdown. Alstott has carried 3 times, and now they give it to Pucell, the fullback. He is to the 45 for a pickup of 2. We'll see a lot of handing off by Joliet to Alstott, and we'll see a lot of handing off by Leo to Rogers.
I think right now they're setting up a tremendous play-action pass. They're trying to cover Freeman. I think with their great speed, they feel they can go one-on-one with Freeman. But they got to look in that backfield with Alstott. With that in mind, someone, or Bonebreaker hit at right tight end.
Second down for the Hilltoppers from the 45, and again it's Alstott. He is inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. A pickup of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. We'll call it a pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from the 40.
And the fans are kind of sitting on their hands, quietly applauding Alstott. He does a workmanlike job of taking the ball down the field. They're waiting for him to also explode and show that blazing speed that he also has in his running scheme.
3rd down and a short 3 from the 40. Out of the full house, it's Mike again, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the stop for the Leo Lions, number 59, David Glover, and big number 75, Tony Spivey in there, along with number 37 coming in to make the stop, Mike Anderson.
Big play, taking a big chance, 4th and long. Could give Rogers the ball in good field position if you don't make this.
They give it to Alstott. He is inside the 40, fighting. He may have the first down. If he does, a great second and third effort.
You said it, Coach, but that was that if he's going to be close here because he got hit in the backfield, and they just keyed on Alstott on this play. The linebackers are shot through. Great determination. You see him dragging 1, 2, 3, 4 men, 4 Lions are hanging on to Alstott as he goes for that first down.
Mike Alstott has been the workhorse on this series of downs as Jason Nedlow, the senior quarterback, leads the Hilltoppers out. Winners of state champions 6 times previous, trying to go for their 7th. And they go to the air for the first time and find Jeff Bonebreak at the 26-yard line and very close to another Hilltopper first down.
And that's what the play action we were talking about previously. Faking the ball to Alstott. Their linebackers have got to key on him. They've got to step up and see if he's got the ball first. And their Bonebreaker going in with a quick down and out pass and a nice sharp pass by Jeff Netlow for the reception.
We have a timeout down on the field, a timeout with 7:02 left in the first quarter. It's 6-0 in favor of the Leo Lions on a 65-yard touchdown run on the 3rd play of the game by, you guessed it, Corey Rogers. Rogers on the year over 1,800 yards rushing. The Hilltoppers get another first down. This first down through the air, however. And I think you set it up yourself, Mac. The run beautifully sets up the play action.
Yes, and you know, it's amazing. The electricity is here, but it's just not coming out, Coach. You're looking around, and the people are just sitting waiting for that explosion and fear of Corey Rogers also.
1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers from the 26. It's Mike Alstott.
Here he goes.
He's on his feet inside the 20, and he can't get away. Finally dragged down by Kevin Jones, the free safety. He's an all-conference safety, and he made a great tackle, stopping Ulstad from going into pay dirt.
Well, the Leo Lions are playing a 6-1 defense, and once he gets through that lane and gets past that linebacker there, and if you get another block, Big Horn was going downfield, follow Big Horn down there, he might have went all the way, but the 6-1 defense, you're gambling, especially with a big back like Mike Allstar going through.
We have an official timeout, an equipment timeout down in the field. Mike Allstad apparently has something wrong with his helmet, but obviously nothing wrong with his running, as voted by the body of the hill. Joliet Catholic Academy merging this year with St. Francis Academy, formerly Joliet Catholic High School, and they have a packed house. The alumni and community are all out here on the near side of the stadium, a good 5,000 strong. On the far side, you're looking at about another 2,500 to 3,000 fans, many of them rooting on the Leo Lions defense. It's 2nd and 3. They give it to James Corky Urban, and Irby cannot get but a yard. He may have received a loss of about a half yard on the play. The tackle there, David Glover, the junior inside linebacker at 6'2", 192, makes the stop. It's a loss of 1, and 3rd and 4 from the 20.
And that time they lined Irby at tailback and moved Allstock to the wing. And if Allstock to do something, so you might look for an inside run by Allstock in this play.
Full house backfield. The handoff is to Irby. He squirts back inside the 15 to 10, and he is to the 13-yard line. James Corky Urban. Irby is called Corky because he's just a little guy at only 5'5", 165 out of Dirksen Junior High, but he's got that kind of Corky flotation device. He never seems to go down.
He's got good speed. I was with his dad last night, and he did a great job of telling me how well his kid was going to run tonight. And there he goes.
And he gets almost to the 7, and Corky gets a few more yards on the play, giving Mike Ulstad a little bit of a breather on these last few plays.
Well, the other strategy is without the big fullback to lead the way, they must use their two big backs, Pucel and Allstock, to use them for blocking first. So we see the value of that big fullback by putting Allstock in there and using him as another blocker.
Irby has rushed for 443 yards this year. On the trap, they give it to Ulstad, and he pulls his way to the 5.
And that was that short counter inside trap with the left tackle leading the way that time to block in there. We go to, again, another 3rd and 1 situation where we see Irby is coming out, and they put in another big tackle. Number 74 comes in to bolster that big line that they already have.
Paul Kinsella, the 6'3", 250 senior, is in to bolster that front line along with Horn, Smith, Aspalik, McGraw, and Gray. The handoff to is Ulstad. He's to the 1. To the 1-yard line. He picks up the first down, though, and that brings the crowd to life here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. 1st and goal, Hilltoppers.
Well, the smaller version of the fridge comes in. Number 74 comes in, and he's the big lead blocker in there at 6'3" and about 240 pounds. And he runs right in front of Allstock and uses it as a wedge to almost score on that play.
Kinsella in at fullback, along with Pucel. There's the lead block, and touchdown, Joliet. Touchdown, Mike Allstock.
Methodically, slow, but there's just like a surgeon making a decision. He's operating. They just operated on that Leo Lions defense. One great play after another and just took it marching down the field. Again, Mike Allstock, the best back we've seen in a long time besides Corey Rogers. He just breaks off tackle with a fine block from the tight end that time to score that 2-yard touchdown.
Jeff Bonebrake in to kick the extra point. Bloom on the hold. Low snap, but Bloom makes a nice recovery, but not in time. Bonebrake cannot get it over. So with 3:54 left in the first quarter, it's tied 6-6 on a 1-yard touchdown scamper by Mike Ulstad, his 4th touchdown in the last 2 games. All that capped an 80-yard drive, Mac, that took up almost 7 minutes on the clock.
And what a difference. You know, the Leo Lions come out, 2 plays, 65-yard touchdown. The Catholic High Hilltoppers come out, they go 6.5, 7 minutes, 80 yards marching down, piece by piece, 4 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards. touchdown. Again, the key, the kicking game. Both teams are gamblers. That time, Bonebreaker got a bad snap from the center and missed it. It's a 6-6 game, and Leo is always going to go up with the 2 points. They do not have a kicker. I think Bonebreaker, I question the kicking on this one. I would say kick the ball deep to the far hash mark and not drop it in at a crane. He's just as fast and about 20 pounds bigger than Rogers standing in that deep backfield. They're trying to get that ball away from him.
3:54 left to go. There you see Rogers far side and the other Leo running back to the near side. And Jeff Bonebreak, they simply call the freckle-faced kid Bones. He's ready to put a bone into this one right here, his right foot. This time again, he goes to the near sideline, and it's picked up by number 9, Terry Burton. And Burton is stopped at the 27-yard line. Number 86, Scott Kozlowski, in on the tackle, along with Tony Hafner. Check that. The ball was run back by number 8, Kari Jones. There are 4 Joneses on the Lions. 2 of them are related as brothers. They are in the defensive backfield. There are also 2 Andersons on Leo, but they are not related.
Well, a lot of neighborhood families around.
They get a lot of the kids from the east side of Chicago, as well as a lot of kids as far west as Pulaski Street. So they're all over going to Leo High School. And the handoff again is to Corey Rogers. He gets to just short of the 30.
And the big play artist is in the game again. I'm talking about number 77. Big Horn is in there, defensive end. This is his series as he alternates on offense and defense and coming in. And again, they're looking for him to, they want them to be blocking him with 2 men, so that frees the linebacker, Trenter and Rumpa, frees them up so they can blitz and get back in that backfield.
So Bob Foster on the far sideline. What an interesting story he has, just being on the field today as the head coach. Out of the eye, the pitch out is to Rogers, and John Horn pulls it down. He fumbled the ball, but was able to get it back. Scott Wang almost recovered that fumble.
And you got to look out for the halfback pass. But that time, we said a great example of what John Horn means to a defense. As Horn just blocks down, fights off, and then races down the sideline, reaches out with that long right arm of his, and hangs off, and one arm brings one of the great backs to stay alone down and almost caused a fumble on that play.
Well, that shows you a little bit about what John Horn can do defensively, pulling the 6-foot, 190-pound Corey Rogers down with one arm. A loss of 2, 3rd and 12 from the 26. Out of the eye, back to throw is Jason Cook. Looking for the screen, and he does get it off. It is caught by Rogers, run for a loss, back to the 15-yard line.
And again, John Horn sitting in there, just his eyes were always on Corey Rogers. He did not leave Corey Rogers for one moment, and he spied him. He just sits there like a spy in the sky, as we see the quarterback drop by giving it away by with his quick drop. Great rush, and there's Corey Rogers over there, and there's Big Horn. One arm again, knocking him down. When you're 6'5" and 260, you can do things like that.
It's 4th down. The pass, by the way, was incomplete. It was out of bounds, and it's 4th and 12. Punting is Jason Cook. Darren Freeman is deep to receive, but it takes a Joliet bounce inside the 50 and down to the 48. With 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter, we are tied at 6. And the crowd here at Joliet Memorial Stadium on their feet applauding their Hilltopper.
And they're getting into it now. I think the Hilltopper defense demonstrated their forte, and that is their great blitzing line and linebackers, as they got in stuff that Leo offense shut them down real good on that play.
Handling the stats today for us up in the booth, Joliet Catholic Hilltopper student Matt Prisby. Glad to have Matt again back with us. Did an excellent job with us last week in stats. And a guy that used to do stats with me and many other wonderful things at WJRC Radio, Eric Muehlbauer, a former Hilltopper, up here with his binoculars, maybe checking out the coaches down on the sidelines. He's a former Hilltopper. Here is the Lynch mob, Jim Lynch. He draws a mob to the 40-yard line, and he picks up about 9 yards on the play. They may have had the first down. The officials think it's close enough to call a timeout, and they do. With 1:36 left to go in the first quarter, we are tied at 6. The winner of today's semifinal 4A playoff game advances on to play on Friday night Friday night at Hancock Stadium at Bloomington Normal on the campus of Illinois State University to play in the 4A state championship game against the winner between the other 4A semifinal being played downstate between perennial champion Geneseo and the Carbondale Terriers of Southern Illinois.
Good play, good football played down that area. This is a big down. It's a down that you can throw on. Second and very, very short.
Less than a yard. The handoff is to Lynch, and it looks like he has picked up the first down. Jim Lynch, they call him the Mob, the Lynch Mob. He's out of St. Mary's Junior High School in Mokina at 5'10", 170. Also an outstanding baseball player, and picking up some of the running load here for Allstott and Irby on this series of downs. And that's one of the things you've really got to applaud to the Joliet Catholic offensive coaches. They are spreading the ball around. Although Allstott did dominate most of that first 80-yard drive, they are spreading it out to the other backs. First and 10 from the 36, and we've got whistles at the line of scrimmage.
That flag went up right away, so there must have been a motion on the Catholic High Hill Choppers that time.
3 all-conference selections on the front offensive line for Joliet. Eric Gray, Brent McGraw, and John Horn. Although Horn was selected all-conference not only as an offensive lineman, but as a defensive lineman. In fact, Horn, as we look at Bob Stone, a former great offensive lineman himself at Eastern Illinois University and at De La Salle High School. And he's got some good ones out there today. First and 15 after the penalty. First and 15 from the 41. It's out to Mike Allstott. Bumps head inside the 40. He is to the 39.
Well, they went back to their Delaware wing T that time and tried to spread them out. In the first series, when they marched down the field, they stayed in the power I and went from tackle to tackle. In this series, Coach Stone changed up, and now he's running his inside counters and putting Allstott in motion to try to get away from those fine linebackers from Leo. And also, when you look in that line, look at Curly McGraw as he battles big number 75 when they had him in there, the 352-pound tackle when he tries to trap him.
Spivey is out for now, getting a breather on the sidelines. Out of the eye, in motion is Pucell. Back to throw on the draw to Lynch. He's got running room inside the 35 to the 31. Jim Lynch picks up some yardage to the 31-yard line.
And that time, Bonebreaker was wide open in the flats that time. He faked that draw.
And we have a timeout because we've come to the end of the first quarter of play. 6-6 our score between Leo and Joliet Catholic, and we'll be back with the second quarter of this 4A playoff game after this timeout on our Channel 15 Game of the Week.
Fact. We're into the football season and the Chicago Bears are storming through the Midway. Fact. There's a new weekly television series providing fans with a keener insight into Bears football. Fact. The program features Tom Thayer and Mike Tomczak, and each week they'll be joined by a Bears teammate. Fact. It's shot on location at TNT's restaurant in Joliet. Bear Facts. Join us every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on WCTV Channel 15.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great weekend, huh?
So what'd you do?
A couple of things. Gassed up my wheels.
Check angels, check fuel. Roger.
You know, took a drive in the country. Watched a little TV.
240, 25 miles.
Even did a little fishing.
Sounds a lot like my weekend.
Right.
As little as 2 days a month and 2 weeks a year, you can rise above the ordinary in the Air National Guard.
WCTV Channel 15, your channel for exclusive sports, public affairs, and special event coverage.
All right, we are back for the beginning of the second quarter. We are tied, Joliet Catholic and Leo, at 6 apiece. Joliet Catholic football, 3rd and 4. Inside the 30 goes Mike Allstott. He's got another first down to the 24-yard line.
And they're going right at big Tony Spivey, the 6'2", 352-pound tackle. They're just double teaming. The big right tackle for Joliet Catholic is just blowing him off the line and creating a lane for Allstott to run through there. And he's a great runner because he runs on one hand. That time he made 4 yards running on one hand before they knocked his knees out.
Mike Coco Alstad, and he is running like a hot bowl of cocoa here today. He, this time, gets the ball again. Or check that, I believe it was Lynch, the ball carrier. It is. Lynch back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Our referees today, our head referee is Jerry Eiserman of McHenry, Illinois. The linesman, John Widmeyer of Woodstock. The umpire, Ken Swanson of McHenry. The line judge, Ed Moricoli of Woodstock, and the back judge is Al Jackson, also of Woodstock. I'm almost glad we didn't have these guys last week.
Yeah, I think we might have made a difference there, but I'm sure they're fine officials in their own right.
It's second down and 10 from the 24-yard line, and we have a timeout down on the field, an official's timeout. And apparently they are reworking the clock. There appears to be something wrong with the clock. While they're doing that, maybe we can get a shot of head coach Bob Foster on the far sideline, the veteran head coach of Leo. An interesting story behind Coach Foster. He's in his first year for the third time as head coach of Leo. He was formerly the head coach between 1970 and 75. And then 3 years was the underclass sophomore coach, came back to coach Leo on an interim basis in 1980 and ended up being there for 7 years. He came back last year to coach his team, and they're doing it. Halfback option pass. The intended receiver for the Hilltoppers was Chris Allen. And the ball thrown out of bounds on the coverage was Rasham Jones, the 6'1", 180 senior cornerback. There you see Chris Allen going back. And Rasham Jones, number 7 in the middle of your screen, he's a senior. He was expected to be the quarterback of the future this year for Leo. Outstanding runner, a tremendous all-around athlete, also a great baseball pitcher. There's Bob Foster. But they went with Jason Cook and just haven't been able to unseat him. Back to throw again is Nedlow on third down. He's going long, has a man open in the end zone. Purcell, the fullback, was open, but it's out of bounds.
And he also had Lynch running down by himself. If he just panned his outfield a little bit there, he'd have saw him in the left corner there, wide open. But again, they had great blocking back in the secondary and the backfield there to prevent Leo from coming in on him. So they know they can throw. If they've given Netlow that much time, he's going to complete. And again, we have not seen Darren Freeman yet.
Fourth down for the Hill, 4th and 10 from the 24-yard line. And they apparently will go for it on 4th and 10. Single setback is Mike Alstott. Back to throw is Nedlow. He's got a man open at the 10. Phone break at the 9-yard line. First down, Hilltop.
Again, like you say, give Nedlow time, and he just set in his settle there. That time he panned his field and saw Bonebreaker breaking into the flat and threw the ball before Bonebreaker broke that time for a nice completion. As we see him, with no one in his way, good reception, bringing the ball in. Nice hit in the back there that Bonebreaker took to hang on to that ball. Great reception, great throw. Put them in great field position to score again.
16 receptions on the year for over 335 yards in receiving this season for Jeff Bonebreaker. First and goal, the goal for the Hilltoppers, and it's Purcell to the 5.
And I'll tell you, Eric Gray and Brent McGraw are doing just a fantastic job of blowing those big hunk of young men from Leo right off the ball and just driving them back as the runners are time after time are just busting through in good lanes on that right-hand side.
The defensive front for Leo, Spivey at 352, Pritchett at 270 are the tackles, Singleton the end at 228. Well, the Hilltopper offensive line pushing them aside and letting their runners do the rest. Here's Lynch on the trap. Touchdown, Joliet. Touchdown, Jim Lynch.
And give that credit to that offensive line. As I was speaking about that right side, here we go. Curly McGraw just comes down and runs a trap block in here and just smashes Eric Gray, and just smashes the defensive tackle down as Lynch just makes a great effort diving in the end zone. Again, the versatility of the Catholic High offensive backfield, where each man is dangerous and picking up the slack for Holman.
Casey on the snap. Bloom on the hold. The kick is up by Bonebreak, and it is good. And so, with 10:06 left in the first half, Joliet leads 13-6. This crowd is very approval.
And that's what we were missing for a while. But now they've come up and got warmed up. That the Hilltop to demonstrate they can dominate this game if they do their things right. And they're doing them right now. Except for that long run by Rogers, they played and dominated this game.
Again, another long drive by the Hilltoppers has chewed up a lot of the clock. One thing Joliet Catholic's offense is also doing here today, Mac, is they're playing defense against Corey Rogers.
And that was one of the big things Coach Stone wanted to do. He wanted to feature a slow, methodical type of attack that would punch the ball down the field, but it would take time. And that time off the field, as you say, is just as good as being on defense, especially when you go down and score when you have the ball.
Bonebreak ready to kick for Joliet. Rogers in the middle of the field, along with number 9, Terry Burton. Check that. That is number 8, Kari Jones. Jones will let the ball go out of bounds inside the 1 for a penalty. That ball just barely missed going into the end zone.
And that was a live ball. Had that ball bounced back and stayed inside, no one from Leo came down to cover it. They just stood there to see if it was going out of bounds. A great option for Catholic to come down and pounce on that ball.
And I thought only the Pittsburgh Steelers rookies did that.
Yeah, well, I remember him doing that. I don't think he'll do that again, as he may not play another position again. But Bonebreaker did a great job of kicking that ball. What he's doing, he's looking at where Corey Rogers is standing, and he's kicking opposite him. And so the Leo Lions are not giving an opportunity for Rogers to get a long run back.
So Bones will kick off now from the 35. And Rogers is standing right behind Jones, Kari Jones, at about the 11-yard line. Kicks it on the ground, and it's taken by Kane. He pitches it back to Rogers.
Look out.
Rogers busting through to the 40, 45, and brought down to the 46. Well, if they won't kick the Rogers, his teammates will get the ball to him one way or the other. He gets out to the 46-yard line. About a 13-yard kickoff return. That was from about the 34.
He would look great in the University of Illinois backfield next year. He has blazing speed. He had electricity. When he touched the ball, he may go any time.
Defensive coordinator Corey McLaughlin down on the field. I wonder how many lucky coins he's got in his pocket collecting this week.
He went hunting a long time last night.
The handoff is to the fullback, Teron Kane, a 6-foot, 210-pounder, who, although known for blocking for Corey Rogers, can do quite a bit of running himself. He has piled up nearly 350 yards rushing this year and has proven himself to be a very able-bodied runner because he's got great speed. He runs, Kane, the fullback, runs about a 4.6 40. And he doesn't get to run that often.
No, and that was one of the big things. They're going to try and take him out of the game. He's the key to their offense, as he's a tremendous blocking back for them also.
Second down after a gain of 1.5 yards, 2nd and 8. Pitch out to Rogers, trying to get outside, cuts back in, stopped at the 45. A loss of 3 on the play. Trenter coming up to make the stop, along with Chris Bazell of Joliet.
And again, we see what we call a help defense. You run outside and you keep screaming, help, 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 as Pat Carroll just comes up and makes a tremendous play of running it back inside where that defensive line comes down and runs their angles right, stays in the lane so he doesn't overrun them, and then makes the tackle. But you got to look out. He does throw an option pass, and that you got to watch when your defensive back for rushing up that quick.
3rd and 11, 13-6 in favor of Joliet with 8 left in the first half. 3rd and 11, Leo, the handoff go, and going on the blitz, almost missing him as O'Connell still loses Cook. Cook spinning, getting in trouble, and finally brought down at the 40.
Well, you talk about opportunity knocks. That young man did a great job of not getting his head knocked off on that because he was attempted to be tackled 4 times. A great run to get outside that time.
It's interesting, too. Watch Jason Cook. He's missed by Mike O'Connell, but that's not the last you'll see of O'Connell. Watch who makes the stop, who finally nets him out of bounds. There he is again, number 50, Michael Conley.
And that's great pursuit in that defensive line. They know they've got to do those things to win this football game.
Cook will do the punting. Deep is Freeman. And it's an end-over-end punt. Darren Freeman calls at the 30, and he's out to the 35. It almost looked like Darren had called for a fair catch, and Freeman is hurt. It looked like he got poked in the eye as he was dragged down, but now he's holding his leg.
As he got tackled, he got twisted, and he made a turn, and the tackler was hanging onto his ankle, and that's probably his bad ankle that's been re-injured again.
Freeman, who's had his ankles heavily taped since the Rockton-Hononegah game, played sparingly last week, and this week has not even been thrown the ball to. But here you see him. Watch how he'll cut back. And right there, you saw the man twist his ankle as he was dragging him down.
And that's a shame, because you're missing, you don't want any kid to get hurt. And Darren Freeman's an outstanding young man who has done a great deal of things for the Catholic High football team. And again, his basketball season is coming up also. So you want to stay as injury-free as possible. He has some fine medical people down there. His Newson medical unit, the trainer's out there, and she's looking at his ankle, and hopefully it's just a re-sprang rather than anything further than that.
Bob Stone, the head coach in his second year here at Joliet, as we watch Darren Freeman being helped out by assistant coaches Dave Douglas and Terry Bencher. And hopefully it is not serious, but of course you have a sprained ankle, any solid twist like that is going to hurt. Maybe we might see Darren Freeman back in the ball game later on. In the meantime, he'll be replaced, as he has been in the past, by an outstanding player, Chris Allen. And of course, you've got the always dangerous Jeff Bonebrake at the other end. Allen is split to the near side on the trap to Irby. He's across the 40 out to the 43-yard line.
And again, the quickness of that inside counter play, as Leo is just moving right out of the lane. They're not settling down. Great blocking by the guards and tackles coming down on them. But in that 6-1 defense, you've got to have a middle linebacker who's going to sit there and be able to withstand a block from a guard and pick off those guys. If he doesn't, Irby, Lynch, Allstott are going to run wild all day.
A pickup of 7, second down and 3 from their own 43-yard line come the Hilltoppers. Back to throw to Bonebrake. He's got a block out there, and he's very close to the first down marker. Number 75 for Joliet Catholic, Eric Gray, was out there leading the block on Bonebrake on that quick little out pattern.
And you see things from up here that are being set up. That time, Allstock was in motion long to the sideline. When he turned up, he was almost in motion, by the way, but when he turned up, there was no one out there to cover him. If you fake that pitch or run a sprint out later on in the game and sprint him down the sideline, a long touchdown could be done on that play. And again, I'm sure Stone has that in his offense.
First down in the air for Joliet. The Hilltoppers are coming off a 21-6 quarterfinal playoff win over Woodstock, following a 25-14 victory over Rockton-Hononegah, and of course that memorable playoff opener here at Joliet, beating Morris 36-10. And the East Suburban Catholic Conference champions for the 9th year in a row. Joliet Catholic, of course, dominated the Illini 8, and before that, the old Catholic League Conference, the Suburban Catholic League Conference, that Gordy Gillespie coached, and of course, on to the Illini 8 days.
And those were some great days that we had great competition at Joliet Central against the outstanding Joliet Catholic squad led by Gordy and his fine bunch of coaches.
A pickup of 1 yard on the play. It's second down and 8. We'll call it a yard and a half. Second and 8 from the 47. Again, using Allstott as a fake, but now they get it out to Mike. Stays on his feet and gets back to the line of scrimmage. They tried to set up Allstott on the far side.
Well, there was a missed block that time. They ran him in motion and going to run a screen away. He had it set, but Nedlow was harassed by the defensive right end, who kept crashing down, and a missed block in the backfield. He had to get the ball away too quick, as that speed of Leo was dominating that time.
Dave Singleton put on the pressure that forced Nedlow to throw the ball. Third down and 8 from the the 47, and again back to throw is Nedlow. He's got time. A man open is Bone Break, and it's tipped, and it is incomplete. Great coverage by Rasham Jones, the 6'180" senior who got in the way of that ball intended for Jeff Bonebreak.
And again, you've got to, Netlow's got to settle down a little bit and spy his field. That time, 4 men were running deep with Bonebreak. Underneath was Chris Allen running free that time. So if he comes back with the coaches in the press box will say, hey, throw underneath to someone when Bonebreaker goes down the field.
Bonebreak is in to punt from his own 40, gets a good end-over-end punt off, and it will be taken by Jones. This is Kari Jones, and he's down at the 28-yard line. The tackle made by number 74, Paul Kinsella. It's 13-6 Joliet. We'll be back with more of the first half of our Class 4A semifinal after this timeout. First half of play. It's 13-6 in favor of Joliet. Joe Passion back here along with Mac McLaughlin. Everyone's wondering who's going to get downstate. Well, I've got a few predictions that I'd like to show you here who I feel will be the state champions, or at least those that will be down in the finals. We'll show you Passion predicts. Those are the teams I feel will be down there. I think the teams on the left will be the eventual state champions of their respective classes.
Well, you got one right already. Seneca is down there.
They won their 2A semifinal on Friday night of this past week. First and 10 for Leo. And the handoff to Rogers, a fumble, and it looks like it was recovered by Rogers himself.
Well, they changed up, and you see the coach from Leo making some adjustment. Instead of pitching at Rogers wide, this time he's going to run him up the middle with a blast, led by his fullback, and try to take his quickness to get past the linebackers and speed downfield. But that time he was hit in the backfield by number 44, who stuck his arm out and knocked that ball out and almost got a fumble recovery on that.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line for Leo. The Lions of the Chicago Catholic League. On the handoff, they give it to a puzzled running back, and he finally gets the ball back this way. Mike Anderson, I believe, was the ball carrier. Check that, number 23, Kevin Jones, 6'2", 178 senior, was the ball carrier on the reverse to the near side. Kevin is one of the Joneses who's not related to the other Joneses.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Horn introduced himself to Mr. Jones again. And when John Horn's on that field, look out. He just sprinted over there again. Another one-hand takedown. I'm glad he stays in football and not comes out to the heavyweight wrestler.
Third down, and we'll call it a long 3 from the 35. Cook on the run, chased by Jones, can't get away, and he's got the first down out to the 43-yard line. Jason Cook, the 5'9", 170-pound junior, brings the Leo stands to life after a fine run, picks up a Lions first down.
And that time, Mike Jones, as we'll see on this replay, is in the proper position, but he missed the tackle. He's trying to chase it. Number 15, he has great speed as he gets around the corner, and the Leo Lions are just standing around, and he just makes a nice gain for a first down. And that really picked up Leo, who was being stagnated there by that fine defensive front of Joliet Catholic.
Bob Foster's trying to get the ball outside, and that time his quarterback did. Jonesy almost caught up with him. You got to give the other Jones, the Joliet Jones, a good applaud on his effort on that last play. On the trap, can't fool the Joneses. Again, Jones is there along with Tom Snyder, and for the Hilltoppers, Greg Trenner, the inside linebacker out of St. Joe's Junior High in Lockport. There you see Trenner taking the signals. The other inside linebacker, Mike Rampa, out of St. Andrew Junior High in Romeoville.
And the ends have got to play conservative football. They've got to maintain their ground and see Horn getting way outside to make sure they don't get around him.
Second down and 13 from the 41. Back to throw is Cook. He's got a man open in the middle. It is loose, and a great play. Knocking the ball out of his hands was Mike, the Italian Stallion Freak.
And I tell you, he laid a lick on him as he was blazing down that field. himself. He broke through that line, and we talked about number 7. He has great speed also. He sprints down that field on a nice toss right in there. I'm sorry, not number 7, number 23 on that reception there. Kevin Jones, but again, a great hit right in the numbers to knock that ball loose.
A great pass on the post pattern, but Mike the Stallion trampled all over Kevin Jones on that play. 3rd and 13 out of the full house backfield come the Lions from their own 41-yard line. Back to throw is Cook, and he tosses over to Rogers. There's a penalty flag on the play, and a one-handed tackle by Horn, and Horn gets him again.
And John Horn is having fun out there. He's just playing tag with Corey Rogers. Flags are all over the field, though. There might be some holding in that line to try to stop those linebackers who are coming in there.
John Horn, the first defensive lineman ever to be named the East Suburban Catholic Conference most valuable player. Here he shows you why.
And he was down with his knee, and that's what they stopped him with that. But again, that quarterback, he really got smacked that time as Trenter came blitzing up the middle. He and Snyder, and laid a lick on him. They threw up. That was a lateral, too, a backwards pass that was very dangerous. With Corey Rogers, you just want to get him the ball anytime. But again, let's talk about John Horn and what he's doing at that left defensive end. When he's in there, he makes things happen. His great speed, that's one of his biggest assets, if not the biggest, besides his size, is that he covers a lot of ground.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. 13-6 in favor of the Hilltoppers over the Lions. Leo now will handle the punting chores. Is number 15, Jason Cook, also the quarterback. Bone break is deep, along with number 45, Mike Preet, and Preet will let it go. It'll take a Leo bounce and falls dead at the 28. And so with 2 minutes left to go in the first half of this 4A semifinal, the winner to go downstate for the 4A state championship game, and Joliet Catholic leading 13-6. We invite you to stay with us at halftime as Terry Venter and their assistant coaches and the head coach, Bob Stone, talking to his quarterback, Jason Nedlow. Join us at halftime as we talk to some of the people that coordinate the other teams at Joliet Catholic Academy. We'll talk with Mary Jaworski and Cindy Thomas, the pom-pom and cheerleader and volleyball coaches, about the girls that also make JCA go during the fall. Handoff to Allstott, but there is a flag on the play. The back judge went down, so did Allstott after 12-yard gain, but there is a flag in the offensive backfield.
It looked like there might have been a fumble on that. There was motion in the backfield that time as the back in motion went to the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, and a great run by Allstott that time as he saw a big lane and almost broke that for a touchdown. But again, those penalties are what you don't want to do is get down here. You've got 2 minutes to go and you're leading. You want to be concerned in that you want to get first downs, but you don't want to turn that ball over and give Corey Rogers a chance before half to put Leo back on the scoreboard.
Bob Stone out of St. Francis de Sales High School, class of 70, where he was an outstanding lineman on both ends of the ball, and also a great first baseman in baseball. You can tell that by how he shakes himself there.
Well, there's some consternation now what signal as Nedlow shook off the first one, and Bob had to go through it again with his motion there. I don't think he was trying to get change out of his pockets, but he's trying to get Nedlow the signal out there.
1st and 15 following the penalty. 1st and 15 from the 23. The handoff is to Lynch. He gets outside to the 30, 35, and he's out to the 37-yard line. Jim Lynch again creates a mob and calls a timeout.
Smart play. Again, as we see, we're talking about the speed on Leo's side. Lynch demonstrates that he has excellent speed also. Maybe not a 4.5 or 4.6, but fast enough to turn the corner and get a 12, 14-yard gain on that in-sweep run.
Did a nice job getting outside Mike Morris, number 25, the defensive outside linebacker, as we look at Coach Stone talking to his offensive starters. We've got less than a minute to play in the first half. 53 seconds left to go. 13-6 in favor of Joliet. Leo got to this game after their quarterfinal win over Bremen, 22-8, in a game in which Leo threw the ball only 4 times against Bremen. That followed the 37-8 win by Leo over Richards in the second round of the playoff. Richards, the two-time defending 4A state champions. And the Catholic League South champions of Leo open up the playoffs with a shutout of Lindblom. In fact, this Leo defense has only, the starting defense for Leo has only had one touchdown scored upon them in the last 7 games. One touchdown in the last 7 games, Mac, and that was in the game against Richards, the only score that came against Leo in that Richards game.
And they've played some formidable foes, so they've got an outstanding defense, but they haven't solved Mike Allstott.
Allstott is the I-back, and he gets the ball off right tackle. He's across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
And
Mike Allstott is out to the 48 for a first down, but there is a flag at the tackle.
Face mask.
Face masking against the defense.
And that's one way to stop Allstott, is grab him by the head and drag him down, because he's like a locomotive. He's chugging down the field. And they're going to run their no-huddle offense to speed the ball up and try to pick out on what I think Leo is getting a little complacent back there and really not hustling, so to speak, in this last 2 minutes of the ball game.
47 seconds left to go. The Hilltoppers with 1st and 10 from the Leo 37-yard line.
Look out for bone breaker this time.
Out of the double wing, in motion is Allstott on the trap to Lynch. He fumbled the football. Big pile up. It's recovered by Leo. Leo recovers the fumble on the trap play to Lynch inside. Coming up with the loose football is number 55, I believe.
And again, we ran that inside counter, and one of the things we were talking about before, turnovers are you don't want to have something put that ball back in the hands of Corey Rogers. And that time, Lynch had the ball outside, and the defensive tackle came down and just played good ball by reaching his hand out and knocking that ball out. And Leo has the ball with 40 seconds to go, or 26 seconds to go on the clock.
Number 65, tackle Ernest Pritchett. Wrapped his 6'1", 270-pound body against that ball and recovers for Leo. They've got it back, 1st and 10. Looking for Rogers in the flat. Instead, it's an incompleted pass to the 50-yard line. The intended receiver was number 8, Kari Jones, 5'10", 165-pound senior.
And Coach Mack is just yelling at them. They've got to get a rush in there and get their hands up. But again, his defense is, they're hiding. Leo didn't realize that time that they ran a cover 2 type of defense where the defensive secondary was deep, but the inside man, the short man, was right there in the line, and if that ball was long, he might have got an interception on that.
Jason Cook, the 5'9", 170 junior quarterback. 3-step drop back, wants to throw, he can't do it. He is still loose, and finally tackled down. Chris Basile was the first man to get there. Chris, just a junior, was all over Cook, and time has run out in the first half. And what a first half it has been. The crowd on both sides are on their feet, applauding the teams as they head to the locker room. At the end of the first half, it's 13-6 in favor of Joliet over Leo. We will be back with our halftime festivities of this Illinois 4A semifinal. We'll be back after this timeout.
You never know what to expect from adopted children. This one became president. And these adopted kids skated to the Olympics. And this one went far in education. And this adopted kid dove into world fame. Adopted children are just like other kids. They're kids with great expectations.
It's time for You Lost Your Life with your hosts, Crash Dummies, Vince and Larry. Hi. Hello, and welcome to the show that proves if you don't buckle your safety belt, the loser is you.
That's right, Vince, and by not buckling up, you could end up in places you never dreamed.
Like traction!
Or the emergency room!
Plus, Larry, if you're not buckled up, you could maybe take a ride in a beauty like this. Stay tuned!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
at Joliet Memorial Stadium. The football team is not the only one that does it very well. They can shake and bake a pretty good routine down in the field. Let's join in with the Joliet Catholic Academy pom-pom squad and the cheerleading squad. We'll see in a moment. All right, we are down in the field here on the sidelines, and you get to meet the head coach so often in Bob Stone and football, but a lot of people don't realize that the cheerleaders and the pom-pom squads also have their leaders. And with me is Mary Jaworski, the leader of the cheerleading squad, and Cindy Thomas, who had led the pom-pom squad now for a number of years, and also the volleyball coach this year for Cindy. First off, I know you want to get these girls started, so go ahead, do that, and come on back and join us, okay? You can handle. See, we have someone up in the grandstands. I'll let the girls go by, get the other girls started, and while we watch the pom-pom squad and the cheerleaders combine here for a little bit of a routine of their own, now we'll bring the girls in and talk a little bit. All right. Okay, now, you guys have to let the girls do it. Tell me, though, how many hours do they put in practicing for the cheerleaders, for example?
Well, in the summertime, we practice 2 hours every day, and then in the fall, about twice, maybe 3 times a week, 2 hours a day.
And for the pom-pom squad, Cindy?
We put in probably about 10, 15 hours a week, and right before nationals, we'll probably put in 3, 6 hours a day.
Okay, now one thing that everyone's excited about this week, hoping that the Hilltopper football team will go downstate for the state championship. Give us an update on the cheerleaders and the pom-pom squad, because they've got some big championships of their own coming up.
Yeah, the cheerleaders will be going to Myrtle Beach in March, and we compete during the winter time. But right now, this is the most important thing on our minds.
Okay, and the pom-pom squad also has a national tournament coming up later down the road.
Yeah, our nationals is in February, and we're really excited about trying to defend our national title, and hopefully we can go back there and do that.
Now, if you're a little concerned on why Mary and Cindy are a little bit nervous as they stand here, this is like talking to Bob Stone during the course of the game for Mary and Cindy. So we certainly understand your concern here, and they did another great job. One thing, you've got underclassmen that are also competing as cheerleaders, what, over about 80 and all? Give us an update on the underclassmen and how they come up and how the tryouts are held for cheerleaders.
Well, I have about 40 cheerleaders, and she has about 40 poms. And we have tryouts in the spring, and we go about 11 months a year. And as far as the tryouts go, you'd have to come and see them.
Well, I would love to be invited to be one of the judges if you ever need one. If not me, possibly Frank Vance, our director.
I don't use any judges.
Oh, well, I tried, Frank, I tried. Cindy, same thing with the pom-pom. With the routines, do they have to do more than just dance and sing?
No, they have to dance, they have to do splits, they have to do kicks. No singing involved.
Sing?
No singing?
No singing.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you guys might did that. One last thing. How has it helped that both the boys and the girls are in one school this year?
Oh, I think it's been absolutely fantastic. The spirit and enthusiasm that the kids are showing for each other. The boys for the girls, like in Cindy's volleyball, the boys were always there, the cheerleaders were cheering, and the girls all coming out for the football games. I think it's better and stronger than it's ever been.
And congratulations again on the great volleyball season the girls had this year.
Thanks a lot. It was really fun, and hopefully we can be in Springfield next year or wherever they're going to hold the state tournament.
Okay, these are the pretty faces behind the prettiest scene of high school football at halftime. I'm Joe Passion. We'll be back with the second half. The Hilltopper boys for now lead the Leo Lions 13-6. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is pizza's called. What's the matter, you? You like a cold pizza?
Oh, no,
Try it.
It's hot.
It's hard. What's the matter, you? It's a pizza by Marcelloni. You like a cold pizza?
No.
Pizza by Marcelloni is made of fish. Everything is a fish. It's good, no?
Right.
It's a pizza by Marcelloni. Hey, I thought you eat it so fast.
November on the Movie Channel. The movie anytime you want one channel. The 24-hour channel. November on the Movie Channel.
WCTV, Channel 15, your community connection.
Welcome back for the second half of today's Class 4A semifinal game between Joliet Catholic and Leo High School. The Hilltoppers lead the visiting Lions of Leo 13-6. Joe Passion welcoming you back to Joliet Memorial Stadium. Along with Mac McLaughlin, the captains have said their hellos, and Curly comes back to the sideline. By the way, Curly McGraw was supposed to be the best man today at his uncle Jeff Herman's wedding. Fortunately, Jeff and his bride-to-be scheduled the wedding for 1:30. So Jeff said, I'll see you at the reception.
Good choice.
He's out here playing some great football on that offensive line. The defensive line for Joliet Catholic has also been doing the job. They have held Corey Rogers to 52 yards, minus 3 yards on a sack by the quarterback, 49 yards rushing total in the first half, 49 yards total yards in the first half by Corey Rogers and his Leo teammate. The Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers, in the meantime, have rushed for 97 yards total and have passed for 28 for a total of 125 total yards in the first half. 125 yards for the Hilltoppers, 49 yards total for Leo. And Eric Muhlbauer tells me that Leo had just 1 first down while Joliet Catholic had 12 first downs in the first half. So that gives you an idea, although it is just a 1-touchdown game in difference, it has indeed been a Joliet Catholic first half.
And again, control of the football, running the time of the old Bear offense is that the best defense is your offense continue to run the ball down the field. In the locker room, a great locker room at halftime. You've got to go in there sometime to see something like that. I have never seen such great physical specimens that were in that locker room calmly going over their game plan with outstanding coaching thought on both offense and defense in there. I was tremendously impressed with Coach Stone and his staff.
One injury to report up from the first half, that to Darren Freeman. The injury to his already injured ankle was twisted on a punt return. He will be out the rest of the game.
And that's a big blow as they need that outside threat. And one of the things Coach Stone was talking about is opening up the attack and throwing that ball down the field and trying to get Bonebreaker on a square out.
Leo will kick off from our left to our right in their white jerseys, the black and orange trim. Joliet Catholic will receive the kick, and on one knee getting the kick is number 86, Scott Kozlowski, the 5'10", 165-pound junior. And the Hilltoppers will start off on offense here to open up the second half. The quarterback is Jason Nedlow. He's the senior out of St. Ray's, backed up by fullback Jeff Purcell. Jim Lynch and Elstad are the halfbacks. Chris Allen and Jeff Bonebrake are the ends. Handoff is to Elstad, and he is out to the 37-yard line. A pickup of about 3 yards. The offensive line, which did a great job in the first half, is centered by Rob Ospalek. He's flanked on his right by McGraw and Gray, on his left by Schmidt and Horn. The Leo defensive starters, who have given up until today just 1 touchdown in the last 7 games, but they let that go in the first half, giving up 2 touchdowns to the Hillmen. Singleton and Anderson are the ends. Pritchard and Spivey are the tackles. Turner and Morris, the outside backers, and Mike Anderson and David Glover are the inside backers. And in the backfield in the secondary, the Joneses, Clevin and Raysham, are brothers. They are related and are the cornerbacks, and Kevin Jones is the safety.
On that last play, number 37, their fine linebacker, Mike Anderson, was injured and walked off the field on his own accord.
Handoff is to big number 33, Brian Fisk Holman. Holman, an outstanding baseball player, reminds the others of what Carlton Fisk looks like. Gets the ball on his first carry of the game. Holman, who injured a thigh muscle against Woodstock last week, is back in the game for Bob Stone and the Hilltoppers. Purcell replaced him in the first half and did an admirable job.
And that time there were 2 big hunks that time as Spivey, the 350-pound tackle, and Holman locked horns that time in a great struggle for short yardage.
3rd and 1, and Holman gets the first down. He's inside the 50 to the 46.
And that's the spark they needed. They needed Big Holman's bulk in there. And I stood up next to him. If they say he's 230, I say about 250 because he's a big young man, a fine specimen as we see, as he just plugs that ball, hangs on to it. Last year, remember, he fumbled quite a bit. This year, Coach Stone has worked with him, and he's learned how to hold on that ball. A great first down on the first drive.
Brian Holman out of Troy Junior High School, 658 yards rushing coming into this ball game. And Corky gets the ball out to the 45-yard line. Stopped there by number 73, coming up to make the stop for Leo, Kelvin Moore.
And a byplay on that, number 76, Curly McGraw, just met number 7 and just decked him deep in the backfield. As you see, the Catholic High linemen are just sprinting downfield, just knocking off anything in white jerseys.
I think because Curly knows he's got a big meal waiting for him at that wedding reception.
He made my all-MAC team, I'll tell you that.
2nd and 9, and it's Mike Alstad. He's inside the 40. He busts heads at the 37-yard line and is brought down on a menacing tackle by Kevin Jones.
And Kevin Jones made a good lick on Alstad to stop him from going all the way. The first 5 minutes of each ball game is very important, especially at half. And you will see the dominance of either team takes resolution here as we see Alstad breaks off. He's got to tuck that ball in a little tighter there going down the field.
3rd and 1 from the 37-yard line for the Hilltoppers. On the trap, they give it to the quarterback. He went to hand it off to Alstad, never got the handoff. And I believe Nedlow will get the first down despite the broken play.
And a great recovery by Nedlow that time as the fullback went right by him with the ball. Instead of Nedlow trying to force the ball in, he just tucked it in and turned his head upfield and made a short yardage where the referees are looking for the chains to come out to measure this for a first down.
Nedlow's a great story in himself. He's called Neds, also a pretty good tennis player, I understand. He wasn't expected to be the starting quarterback this year. He started last year's quarterfinal playoff loss to Richards, but it was really up to him and Tony Hafner. A lot of people thought Hafner would be the starting quarterback for Bob Stone this year, but they stayed with Nedlow, and he has been proved all year long and has really become a great leader for this offense. First down, Joliet from the Leo, 36. They give it to Alstad. He is inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. And he took half of Leo's defense with him.
You're talking about a bull. He is a bull, and he's a growing young man at 195. Wait till he fully grows up. as he gets to be about 17 or 18 years old, and that young man really runs it. But he's running behind our fine offensive line on that right side. We see McGraw and Gray, and that time number 67, Ed Smith, pulled down the line for a tackle. And that offensive line is just moving that massive Leo defense off the ball.
A pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. The handoff again to Olstad. He is inside the 30, and he busts his way to first down yardage at the 26-yard line.
And again, we're talking about blocking. I know Olstad is an all-state candidate at tailback, but with that line, again, they're just moving Spivey. And I keep saying that if you want to watch something interesting, take your eyes off the deep back Olstad and watch that offensive line. They are something to behold.
They've got a great bunch on that offensive line. Some great nicknames. Horn Dog is John Horn, Schmitty for Ed Schmidt, Osbo for Ospala, Curley for McGraw, and Ige, the E-man, for Gray.
And again, the dominance of the ball. They're just controlling that football, keeping Corey Rogers on the sideline. The longer you keep him over there, the better chance you have to win. And if we can come down, or if Catholic can come down and put something on the board, that changes the offensive strategy of the Leo Lions. They may have to put that ball up in the air.
I'm surprised that they don't have a sign and maybe a trough of some hay for the Hilltopper Hogs. They have really fed the defenses they played against this year.
Well, they're one of the fine offensive lines we've seen this year.
2nd down and 7. The handoff is to Holman. He is on his feet inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. First down, Joliet.
And again, that injury, he may have not be slowed up with that injury, but I'll tell you what, he put some thumping on that defensive secondary of Leo as we see Holman going in there and Jermaine Turner just hanging on for help. And again, it takes 2 or 3 tackles to bring Holman down, and he's really being excited with Jermaine Turner and Rashawn Jones bringing him down.
First down and 10 for the Hilltoppers from the Leo 14. They give it to Holman. He's inside the 10, the 5. He's to the 1-yard line. He almost stretched the ball into the end zone, but he's got a first and goal for the Hilltoppers.
And this time, Horn probably said in the lineup, he said, I can block also. And he would demonstrate here, he just makes a huge hole. He and Chris Allen at tight end just make a huge hole to get Holman down on about the half-yard line. We talk about the fine tackle they have. Chris Allen, a 6'3", 220-pound tight end, has done a great job of blocking also.
First and goal from the 1. Nedlow fumbles at the goal line. It is recovered by, no, it is a touchdown. The ball went over the end zone line. Touchdown, Joliet.
And the Leo coaching staff is irate. They've come out on the field, but the call was made right away. As the line judge has that job, as soon as he sees the ball cross that plane, he puts his hands up, regardless of what happens afterwards. And we'll see on this replay, as Nedlow crunches behind the offensive center, Ospalik, and he gets in there. And after crossing the goal line, someone punched the ball out. And that was a good call for the Hilltoppers, that they needed that. If they had fumbled that one, I'm glad we don't have instant replay. We might have been looking at that for a long time.
19-6 our score. And we have a timeout on the field, a timeout by Leo. Let's take another look at the replay, and as they say, you make the call. What you can't hear is the official whistle.
Well, he never had control. You're right. He fumbled the ball from the snap. The ball was up in the air. But again, being blocked out on the side, he saw him make the initial step forward and called it right away. A great call. Someone up in the skies looking down on the Hilltoppers that time. That was a fumble.
Well, maybe her son is a Hilltopper fan too.
Well, we're not going back to Lou Holtz and sitting on top of the steeple there, but whatever it was, a great break-in for the Hilltoppers to score. And again, down 20-6 and maybe getting this extra point puts Leo really deep in the hole.
A 2-point conversion effort by the Hilltoppers from the 3. They give it to Alstad. 2 points is good. The conversion is good, and now with 6:52 left in the third quarter, it's 21-6 in favor of Joliet.
And that says it all. Just listen to them. We know when the Catholic High Hilltoppers have scored because the crowd just goes nuts. And that time, Allstott goes in untouched on the right side. And Curly McGraw and the fine tackles are making great blocks. Let's get a look at this replay again as the ball just pops up from Nedlow's hands. But again, the call was made real quick from the side, and a score and a touchdown.
It was Spivey's shoulder pads that knocked the ball loose from Nedlow, the quarterback. But Mike Allstott doesn't care because he got the two-point conversion, and the points are on the board. Watch in the lower left-hand portion of your screen, right there. In fact, it was number 77, Pat Johnson, who got his shoulder pads on the ball, but when you get them, you take them.
It's history. That's the score and is on the board.
21-6 now in favor of Joliet. And they again chewed up a good 5 minutes plus on that clock to open up the third quarter.
This game is not over. The Hilltoppers have still got to play good, tough, solid offensive defense. That ball's going to drop.
The kick goes to Jones. He pitches it to Rogers from the 18. And look at the great tackle by number 9, Tony Hafner.
And if he's a quarterback, he doesn't demonstrate it because he likes to hit. This is the third time Hafner has been displayed his great ability coming down on the punts and kickoffs and doing an excellent job. He wants to get in there and stick his head and his helmet on someone.
Tony Hafner just make the all-MAC team on the specialties.
Well, he is a specialist that you like to see. A kid that he's biding his time to get in the game. He comes down and he just hangs on and just wrestles him down to the ground.
O'Connell and number 41, Lynch, did the rest. On the first handoff to Rogers, he gets a couple out to the 23-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards on the play.
And at halftime, Coach Mack was telling Trenter and Rumpa, they have got to step up. They were too deep sometimes on the passing. He wants them to come up in their blitz and move up a couple, 3 yards so they can find that lane and get in there quicker to get a big hit on Rogers before he gets started. Watch out for some trickery now because Leo has to come out and throw this ball as they're getting deep in their own territory.
Rogers with 1,839 yards this year coming into the ball game and 21 touchdowns. He gets the pitch again. A good block on O'Connell, but he's in trouble, and John Horn wraps him up at the 21.
Well, if there's an all-MAC team, there's John Bighorn sitting on there because John Bighorn is a big part of this defense as they just scramble. This is called a scramble in the halftime. I heard them over talking. And what happens is the end comes out by himself, leaving the defensive linebacker stick up in there. And that time, Horn just plays his lane, bounces off, and makes a fine tackle. Corey Rogers is dangerous. As long as he's on his feet, he is a dangerous, dangerous runner.
Bassel and Rampa were in to slow Rogers down, along with O'Connell. Horn finished them off. 3rd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Pass to the far sideline for Rogers, but he was double-teamed out there by Jason Buss and Pete Carroll.
And Jason Buss is the man that Coach Mack was talking to and telling him, we think you can pick that off if you just keep your head up in the scramble, as we see Corey Rogers on the side a little frustrated and not being able to run down the field. But that frustration is caused by some excellent tackling and gang tackling by that fine defense of Catholic High.
Rogers had 218 yards rushing 2 weeks ago against Richards, but had only 47 yards, or 52 yards rather, in the first half. Here's Bonebreak on the return, and he gets good field position for the Hilltopper offense. They'll start out this series from the Leo 42-yard line.
And it's happening here at Memorial Stadium as the fans are being the 12th man are just encouraging offense to stick another one into the end zone. And again, ball control, giving that ball to the big fullback Holman. Allstott, Lynch, and Little Irby has done a big job of carrying that football down the field for the Hilltoppers.
Here's Jason Nedlow, the quarterback, handing off to Brian Holman, and Holman on his feet inside the 40 before finally being tailed down there. And on the tackle, along with several others, was Mike Morris, the 5'11", 172-pound outside linebacker, who is also an honor student at Leo High School.
And again, this game kind of reminds me of the Morris game with just outstanding athletes all over the field. and the dominance of the offensive line of the Hilltoppers again shows out. But again, Leo is a fine team. They have Corey Rogers, have a fine quarterback, a big fullback in Crane. They can score. Similar to the Morris offense, they can score at any time, so you have to keep control and stay alert. You can't have passivity out there. You must maintain that aggressive tone that they've demonstrated from the opening kickoff.
Brian Holman, who has really been making the Leo fans on the far side of the field take notice, certainly has the Leo defense. This time it's Lynch. He's inside the 40 and it hit hard at the 35.
And that was a major league lick, number 7, Rashawn Jones. If he wanted to be a quarterback, I'll tell you, he's one of the fine defensive secondary men we've seen. He comes up and puts a lick on you.
Two of the biggest hits today have come from backup quarterbacks, Rashawn Jones of Leo and the Hilltopper backup quarterback, Tony Hafner.
And again, you show their great athletic ability. They can play anywhere at any time.
3rd down and 3. The handoff to Alstad. He's close to a first down. Now he's got it. Again, the 2nd and 3rd effort of the junior from St. Mary's Junior High School shows what second efforts can get you in life and as well on the football field.
And again, we're seeing the Leo Lions. They're starting to lay down on the field from some of the great licks they're putting on and receiving from that offense of Catholic High. One thing to note, number 38 is the injured player, Tom Anderson, who came in there to make a good lick. That time they shot linebackers and Allstott went right by him. But another thing you know, number 76, Curly McGraw, got a stinger that time. He's kind of holding his left shoulder, and he's a big part of that offensive line, and he looks like he's going to be all right, though.
The winner of this game will play the winner of the Geneseo Carbondale other 4A semifinal. But who's going to be in the finals? Well, I put a little homework to use and maybe some predictions, and we'll see how they come out next week. In the finals, I like East St. Louis against Loyola. The teams on your left I like as state champions. Expect the Caravan of Mount Carmel and Frank Lunchy to take on Paul Adams' outstanding Deerfield Warrior team in the 5A final. Those two games will be on Saturday. Joliet Catholic, you got to like them there, and they're showing us that they will be in the final against one of the great 4A teams in Central Illinois, Geneseo. Rock Island Alderman and Belleville Althoff should be in the 3A final. Seneca already in the 2A final, should take on undefeated Dupo. And then Bloomington Central Catholic against Anawan in the 1A final. The 1 through 4As will be on Friday. The 4A championship game Friday night at 7. Here's Alstad. He's inside the 30 and stopped at the 27-yard line, but there is a flag back at the play.
And again, looks like holding on that pulling guard coming out that time, wrapped his arms around the defensive end's legs. But again, we see how the quickness of Alstad as he gets that pitch, and that's a dangerous pitch. Netlow throws the ball about 15 yards deep, and he gives that ball where Alstad can see his lanes, get up in there, and pick out his holes and make good yardage. But again, a big penalty to throw the Catholic Hilltoppers back on first down.
The penalty against Joliet Catholic will take the ball back to the Leo 47-yard line.
And the referee marked off about 5 more yards, and the crowd let him know.
This crowd, an intelligent one. The head referee is Jerry Eisenman of McHenry. The linesman, John Widmeyer of Woodstock. The umpire, Ken Swanson of McHenry. The line judge, Ed Moricoli of Woodstock. And the back judges, Al Jackson, also of Woodstock. Back to throw the screen is Nedlow. He's got Alstad, and it's incomplete. A great coverage on the play by number 37, Mike Anderson, the all-conference Catholic League linebacker, who's also considered by many a great pro baseball catcher prospect.
Well, he snipped that one out. He had a bead on Alstad all the way, and his Alstad offensive lineman didn't turn around quick enough to make a block on him. Had he got that ball, he had a clear lane down this sideline.
Mike Anderson, number 37, 6'1", 215, a senior, all-conference linebacker. His coach says he is considered a pro prospect as a catcher in baseball.
He's a big target.
He was injured earlier in the game, left for 3 plays and came back in. Here's Holman trying to get away from the rush at the 50 and is thrown for a loss of 3 yards back at midfield.
And right now, the Leo's got a breath of fresh air that they've made 2 great stops to stop the Catholic High offense. But the Catholic High can't become nervous in here and put that ball up or make mistakes. Turnovers are key. They've got to maintain their poise down. The first down right here is not that important. What is important is keeping that ball in your hands and making sure that Bonebreaker has a chance to get a good punt off if they don't make this first down on 3rd and long.
Jermaine Turner, number 42, had his helmet knocked off, but made a great play on that, along with the big kid in the middle, 6'2", 352-pound junior, number 75, Tony Spivey. Handoff is to Lynch, and he is brought down at the 47-yard line by number 65. The other tackle, Ernest Pritchett, 6'1", 270. There's Lynch, number 41. There is a penalty flag on the field.
And again, the offensive linemen are coming down. That's 2 critical mistakes, as Leo may take this yardage to put Catholic High deeper in the territory, forcing them to punt inside their own 40 if they come down. You may want the ball right away, but it looks like they're discussing it.
I'm getting the feeling that the offensive linemen for Joliet Catholic are looking at a different front in this half. We're seeing 6 men, sometimes a 5-man, odd-man front by the Leo defense, but then they're bringing their linebackers.
Well, that's the adjustment they've made. Anderson is coming up and blitzing more often. He's trying to get back there and stopping Big Holman or Allstott in the backfield, and he's done a real good job in this series on defense.
Out of the double wing, in motion is Allstott out of the eye, and he gets the handoff up the middle, trips at the line of scrimmage, and is down at the 47-yard line.
And Mike was a little upset getting tripped up. He thought had he not been tripped, he saw a lane going downfield. At that time, they ran him to counter up the middle off the motion.
2 big penalties against the offensive line on this drive, which originally started back at the Leo 37. Now instead, Joliet will be punting from the Leo 37. And Rogers is not deep to receive the punt. Instead, number 8, Kari Jones is.
Great tackle.
Jones is pulled down at the 25 by Jim Lynch.
Great coverage that time, and that coverage is extremely important because had he got outside, Lynch was the last man out there as Bonebreaker punted to the wide side. A very dangerous punt as a good catch we see here, and Lynch just makes a diving tackle to hang on to bring down the ball carrier.
Jim Lynch has been doing extra double duty and in star fashion with 2 big spectacular tackles on the specialty teams. Jason Cook, the quarterback, in the backfield out of the shotgun with Rogers. Now he rolls out. Cook still on his feet and stopped at the 36, make it the 34. There is a penalty flag in the backfield, however.
And that will be holding as the defensive line was coming in, and the Morris, I'm thinking about Morris, the Leo line offensive guard reached out to grab the big Snyder to try to hold him from getting to the quarterback. Again, we see the adjustment. They're going to the shotgun as they want to put that ball up.
And one thing you'll notice when you watch Leo line up here during this series, Jason Cook, the quarterback, coming out of the shotgun, and he is sending Corey Rogers as a wideout.
Look at the tone and the way the players are walking. As a coach, you kind of get into biorhythms of what happened. Leo is kind of slowly slinkering back to the huddle. While Catholic High, they're pumped up. They're sitting there yelling and screaming and running all over the field. The difference is 21-6 score. But again, Leo can score. They've got to get their heads up if they want to get back in this ballgame.
A 15-yard penalty against Leo puts the ball back at the 10-yard line. 1st and 25 with 19 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The pass to Rogers at the 14. He's getting outside across the 35-30, the 40, inside the 50-40, the 30, the 20. He's going all the way. A 90-yard touchdown pass for a touchdown by Corey Rogers.
And we said anytime he touches the ball, he's a danger to go all the way. And again, the relaxation. Somebody missed Corey Rogers out there. Whoever had the spy on Corey Rogers did not do his job, and that could be because he's a great back. As we see the quarterback come in the shotgun and throw a strike with him coming out of the backfield, and there's one tackle missed, and he just pours it on, and no one even comes within arm distance of Corey Rogers as that great 4.5 speed just sprints down the field and puts him right back in this ball game.
6 foot, 191 pounds, a senior Corey Rogers has Bob Stone flustered on the Joliet sideline as he goes 90 yards on the pass from Jason Cook. And now Leo lines up for the 2-point conversion.
This is a big play.
It's Cook on the rollout. Still on his feet, looking, throws, knocked down by number 75, Eric Ray. And Bob Foster in the middle of your screen at least has got another score on the board with 3 seconds left in the third quarter. It's now 21-12, still in favor of Joliet Catholic.
And how things turn around so quickly. I just got to talking about how the Leo Lions were walking back to their huddle very quietly and slowly. That time, they just came out running that ball and tried to get an extra point. Was a key play because it puts them down 9 points instead of 7. So again, they've got to score twice and make an extra point to get it back on top of this ball game. Again, the Hilltoppers got to control the football. Allstott has got to handle that football and move it down the field.
Well, he's got his helmet on, ready to do battle on this next series. But for now, the last few seconds of this third quarter are for the Leo fans. They are cheering it up on the far sidelines. They brought their band along and are enjoying the great, spectacular play of Corey Rogers.
And they brought a great crowd with them.
The kickoff by Leo, handled by Hafner from the 13. Hafner is stopped at the 25. And the Leo fans and their Lions are roaring with momentum here as we go into the fourth quarter of play. The score after 3 periods. It's 21-12 in favor of Joliet Catholic. Both sides of the grandstands on their feet. We'll be back.
Teens have it tough in the 90s. Pressures at home, at school, and on the street. Bulls rookie Stacey King knows there are no shortcuts to making it in life.
I have a lot of peer pressure around me. A lot of people want me to do certain things. A lot of people want me to do drugs, to do alcohol, do all that stuff. But the most important thing for me is to do the best things on the basketball court I can do and do the best things in life and be the best person I can be. I can't let drugs get in my way because I have too much going for me.
Hey, how you doing?
Look what I do in school today, Grandpa.
The heart, the aorta, the left and right ventricles, and the auricles.
Grandpa, did you want to be a doctor when you were little?
Well,
Dreams need never again be forgotten.
You would have been the best doctor, Grandpa.
Please support the United Negro College Fund.
Can I be a doctor, Grandpa?
Some people think Social Security is just for retirement.
But if a serious illness or injury puts you out of work, Social Security can pay disability.
Even if you're years from retirement.
And it will pay your family survivor's benefits if somehow your life gets cut short.
So what benefits can you expect? Find out by calling 1-800-2345-SSA.
For your own personal earnings and benefit estimate statement. Social Security, it's not just for retirement.
It's for life.
Morning.
Good morning. Great weekend, huh?
So what'd you do?
A couple of things. Gassed up my wheels. Check angels, check fuel. Roger.
And I took a drive in the country. Watched a little TV.
240, 25 miles.
Even did a little fishing.
Sounds a lot like my weekend.
Right.
As little as 2 days a month and 2 weeks a year, you can rise above the ordinary in the Air National Guard.
WCTV Channel 15, your channel for exclusive sports, public affairs, and special event coverage.
As host of a great party, you want to make sure your friends have a real good time, but you also want to make sure they get home safely. That's why Beer Drinkers of America reminds you to party smart. As the party winds down, a smart host closes the bar, offers his friends non-alcoholic beverages, and serves a fresh round of snacks. A smart host also keeps his eye on his guests and doesn't let anyone attempt to drive home who shouldn't. Be smart. Make yours a party everyone will remember.
From the McGruff files, the case of the Tucson tip-off. In the Midtown area of Tucson, Arizona, things were no doggone good. Burglaries were up, spirits were down, and folks were fed up. So they worked with police to get their neighborhood back. They organized community watch groups. In just 3 weeks, burglaries were down 30%. The people of Tucson are making a difference, and you can too. Write this down, and I'll show you how you can help take a bite out of crime.
WCTV Channel 15, your channel for exclusive sports, public affairs, and special event coverage.
Back to Memorial Stadium. The final quarter of this Class 4A state playoff semifinal. Joliet Catholic holding on to a 9-point edge over the Leo Lions. Welcome back. Joe Passion here along with Mac McLaughlin on our final Channel 15 football game of the week, and it is turning out to be a dandy. A 90-yard run by Corey Rogers of Leo a moment ago brought Leo back into this ball game, and now the Hilltoppers are trying to take it away from them, and this is the man to do it. Mike Allstock. He runs the ball out to the 32-yard line, a pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4.
It's crunch time, and when crunch time comes up, look for Mike Allstock to handle that football. He's the type of kid that comes to the forte when they need it. And they're down right now a little bit. They need to control the football again for 5 or 6 minutes, move that ball all the way down the field for a touchdown, because Corey Rogers, you don't want to have him touch that ball at all this fourth quarter.
2nd and 4. The handoff again to Allside. He's across the 35 and has first down yardage. A pickup of 6 yards on the play out to the 37-yard line.
And again, the Leo Lions are getting up slow as they're taking a beating from that fine offensive line that we talked about. Again, in that last series, as we see Mike Morris limping back to the huddle there. But again, Allstock, again, is just plugging his way through there, getting 5, 6 yards at a crack. Until one time, he's going to break that thing all the way.
A crispy, sunny afternoon here, and the officials have a timeout on the clock with 11:05 left in the game, 21-6. This is the furthest that Leo High School has ever gone in a high school football playoff format. The champions of the Catholic League South have never won a state championship and have never had a team in any sports at Leo in a state final. So you can imagine why on the far side of the field there's about 3,000 fans, and most of them are cheering for the Lions.
And they're up for this game. It's a great game of two classic teams. Again, this 4A series has been a tremendous series. We've watched team after team. A great Morris team that was defeated by Catholic. Outstanding Woodstock team that we saw had great backs and a great quarterback in Catholic. Again, smoked them in one sense and knocking them out of the playoff. And now they face the Leo Lions, who've done a great job of getting themselves back in the ballgame. There's a lot of time left on that clock, and Coach Stone knows he's got to control that ball and break Allstock through.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers with 11-11 left to go in the game. 21-12, Joliet. Handoff is to Allstock. He's across the 40 and fights his way to the 43-yard line.
He must
pick up of about 6. We'll call it a pickup of 5 yards on the play.
And he must have a hot tub at his house, because after every ball game, he's got to just soak those tired bones, because he takes a licking out there, but he hands it out too. When you tackle him, you know you've been hit by a fine big back in Mike Allstock.
2nd and 5 from their own 42. The handoff again to Allstock. He dives over to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 2 more yards.
And again, they're shooting those linebackers, and in that time, number 70, the defensive tackle for Dave Singleton, just dug a hole and just upset the blockies on that, as the Leo crowd is rooting for them to stop them on this 3rd and long situation.
Now the Leo players even telling their crowd to get up. The Joliet side has answered that same cue. Big 3rd down play, 3rd and 3 from the 43-yard line. Handoff is to Allstock. He cuts outside inside the 50. Fumbles the ball, but it is out of bounds. Fumbles the ball out of bounds, and it is 1st down Joliet to the Leo 42-yard line.
And all 8,000 people knew who was going to handle that football on 3rd and short yardage that time, 3rd and 3. And again, Mike Allstock breaks off tackle behind Curly McGraw and Smith and Gray and those guys, and makes a 1st down. And the fumble, a key job that time, but he went out of bounds, and Catholic High maintained control.
A pickup unofficially of 15 yards on the carry gives Mike Allstott 24 carries on the afternoon for 135 yards.
And one of the Leo players is down over here on the sideline, and they're coming over to look at him, and we see the trainer from Catholic High looking at number 7, Rashawn Jones.
Rashawn Jones, player. Outstanding 6 foot, 180 pound senior cornerback. He's the brother of number 22, Clevon Jones. They're both baseball standouts. In fact, Rashawn, who you're seeing being helped off the field, is also a tremendous right-handed pitcher.
Well, one of the things we have at Memorial Stadium on the sidelines, where we have the box where the players are, is a lot of gravel. And that time when Rashawn Jones made the tackle going out of bounds, he slid into that, and some of that gravel and dust got into his face mask and blinded him for a short period.
1st and 10, Joliet from the Leo 42 out of the full house backfield is Allstott. He's inside the 40, on his feet inside the 30, the 20, the 15 to the 14-yard line goes Mike Allstott.
And his favorite gesture, he points up to the crowd with that finger to say, I'm back and I'm ready to run the ball. As we know, he's running that to that right side, to the short side of the field. A great block by Curly McGraw and Eric Gray on this. And he just busts up in there, just shucks tackles, and comes down, and one man to beat, tries that old stiff arm. But again, a great tackle to bring him down because he was heading for pay dirt.
Sheldon Matthews was the man that saved it from being a touchdown. 1st and 10, Joliet from the Leo 15. It's Holman inside the 15. He bowls his way to about the 12.
And that was a breather. That was a breather. What Coach Stone did was come out of his eye-back tight formation and went to a spread offense that time and giving Allstott just a minor break. But you don't want to keep that ball out of his hands too long. You want to control it as he takes the ball, except for that play, the entire length of the field.
Bob Foster certainly was not happy to see Holman come into the game in the second half. He'd been eating them up at the line. Here's Allstott inside the 10, and he is gang tackled at the 9-yard line.
In their scouting report, they must have saw something about running at Spivey and that left side of the defensive line as they're concentrating. They're not running to Hornstein as much as they have during the season, and they've done a great job of blowing him off the field. Look for something coming back, maybe an inside counter on this play.
This drive started back at the 25-yard line to open up the 4th quarter. 8:25 left to go in the game. 21-12 Joliet. They're looking for some insurance. Hand off to Holman. He pulls his way inside the 5, and he is to about the 4. That will be a 1st down. 1st and goal to goal for Brian Holman and Joliet.
And the crowd is again going wild. They know this is a big play as Leo brings in some fresh recruits to try and stop. One byplay. Mike Allstott was injured on the previous play. Nedlow tried to get him out of there, but he stayed in on that play. But Coach Stone sent in reserve this time as he brought Mike Allstott out.
1st and goal to goal for the Hilltoppers from the 4. Handoff is to Holman. He is stopped by Spivey, and that is what a collision. You're talking about Holman at 230 and Spivey at 350.
Two heavyweights. Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson going at it in a battle that was won by Spivey. But here comes Mike Allstott, and Coach Foster is very concerned. They know ball control as that clock is running. And now with Mike Allstott, and they know who's going to receive this ball in that backfield.
Chris Vaselli comes out, and back in is number 74, Kinsella, leads the blocking for Allstott. He is stopped short of the goal line at the 1.
And the defense is plugging up those holes. They came in an 8-man gap. It looked like they stayed in there 6, but they came with those linebackers shooting a gap to sting Allstott and hold him from crossing that goal line.
It'll be 3rd and goal to goal from just across the 1-yard line. Referees placing the ball about at the 2, just inside the 2-yard line.
And it's crunch time. Allstott is he's got a little dinger on him where he's a little hurt. But he knows he's got to come to the forte. And again, they're going to that eye backfield where he's deep enough to see that hole running behind Big Holman.
Well, let the crowd tell you what happens. Touchdown, Joliet. Mike Allstott off left tackle. Touchdown, Hilltoppers. It's 27-12.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, you've got to watch as you see a high school football player just become a great back. But that offensive line led by Big John Horn leading the way. Mike Allstott, even hurt, and that's the sign of a great back. He's got a dink as he's limping here to the sideline, goes in for that touchdown. A tremendous, tremendous play by Crunch Mike Allstott.
The kick by Bonebreak is up, and it is no good, wide left. His second point after that has just gone wide to the left. And so with 6:40 left in this for a semifinal, it's Joliet Catholic leading Leo 27-12. So far for Mike Allstott in 28 carries, he has rushed for 169 yards. Our statistician, Matt Frisbee, staying right on top of it. Allstott doing the rest. A 75-yard gain, and the fans know they are zeroing in on the state championship.
The camera is on a great crowd as you see the faces of the fans from the hill. Somebody's looking for a sign there that was taken off of somewhere where it says hill. But Mike Allstott, the trainer, came over to see, and he just waved her off. He says, "I'm all right. I just needed a break." A great young man who really plays the role very well behind that great offensive line of the Hilltoppers. But again, the defense better be ready. Corey Rogers is in that backfield again.
6:40 left. Bonebreak will be kicking off to Rogers and to number 8, Kari Jones. Jones will take the ball and let it bounce to the 20. He'll take it himself. Tries to come to the near side of the field and is pulled down by number 70, John Green.
Flag on the play.
Could be a late hit against Joliet. It is a personal foul against the coverage team.
And again, that was just hustle. That was not intentional. He came down, saw the back with his head still up, and dove at him, went over the top, of the referee threw a flag as the fans on Catholic High side are stunned by that. But that's the way, that's a good call. They know they have to hold up when that runner's knees are down.
1st and 10 for Leo from their own 40-yard line with 6:33 to go. Leo trails by 15 points. 2 touchdowns, a couple extra points, and they're back in it. On the snap out of the shotgun, the pass is thrown and incomplete. The intended receiver was number 23, Kevin Jones. Jones had the ball in his hand for a moment, but could not hold on.
Great strategy by Coach Foster and the Leo Lions as Jason Bush came in right on top of that to almost get that percent. What he's done is he's gone to a trip wide out, spreading out. Now they only have one linebacker. Number 44, Trenter, is the only linebacker up the middle. So when you got Corey Rogers back there, you know you need one more man to stop him.
Trip receivers on the far side, 2 on the near side. They go to the air to Rogers, and he is hit by Scott Wang. Wang stops him at the 46-yard line. Scott the Wanger gave in a banger to Corey Rogers. Scott, an honor student, all-conference selection at 5'8", 160 out of St. Ray's. And right back, no huddle. Out of the shotgun, and Jones brings him down. Mike Jones, the 6'3", 220 senior out of St. Ray's.
There's a flag.
Brings down quarterback Jason Cook, and there is another flag on the play, and it's against the Hilltoppers.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Somewhere along the line, somebody did something unnecessary, and that was a big, big play as that gives the Leo Lions a first down.
It will be first down Leo, and they are now in Joliet territory as Jason Cook goes to one sideline for instructions, and the defensive coaches give the instructions on the near side.
And viewing Coach McLaughlin that time, he is very, very upset that those 2 penalties have hurt the Catholic High defense tremendously.
1st and 10 Leo. 5 receivers lined up. Single set back is Kane. Back to throw is Cook. And he does get away from John Horn. Throwing it deep and over Corey Rogers' head. Incomplete. Scott Wang on the coverage back there, along with Mike Preet and Mike Rampa.
They've done a good job of containing Corey Rogers when he comes out of the backfield. But again, look at that great quarterback, Jason Cook. He just got out of two outstanding tackles that had him and just twisted and turned and got that ball off. What they're doing is they're not allowing that front four to come in normally like they have. Now, twice they've gotten in, but up until those last two plays by that defensive line, the offensive line is contained them from getting back to Jason Cook.
Trip receivers on the far side, double receivers on the near side. Out of the shotgun is Cook, 2nd and 10. Throws over the middle, and it's almost intercepted. Mike Breed was coming in for the pick, but he just couldn't hold on to the ball. It was intended for Corey Rogers, who gets some help from Pete Carroll getting off the ground.
And Jason Cook did a good job of sitting in the saddle on the shotgun, throwing down the field, and Rogers was open. Here comes the sneak safety sitting back there. Again, a hidden defense. They played a cover 2 with 2 halfbacks on the side, but they didn't see where number 45 was laying in the lane there, waiting to pick that ball off.
They call Preet the Stallion, and he almost picked that off and galloped onward. He's out of Jane Adams in Bolingbrook. 3rd and 10 again, this time from behind center. Back to throw is Cook. Has a receiver open and overthrows his man. Great coverage by number 54 for Joliet Catholic, Joe Barbick, the junior, 5'11", 182-pound linebacker.
And he's a designated hit man. He comes in on passing down and did a great job of staying in his lane on the flats there and made a great tackle. And as we see Jason Cook throw that ball in there, and a nice hit there to just smash him as the ball touched his hands.
4th and 10. Leo will go for it with 5:20 left in the game. Joliet Catholic leads by 15.
Look for the pitch to Rogers.
Out of the eye. Back to throw is Cook. He's looking, throws, has a man open, and he's sandwiched. Again, it's Barbick and Jason Bunch who throw the sandwich, and the ball is knocked down. Joliet gets the ball back.
And the stands are going crazy as Cook comes back. He's being harassed again, throws the ball, and great licks by Barbick. Barbick, number 54, comes up, throwing his hands up as he put a lick on the number 9, who's still out in the field, getting up very slowly from that smash by Joe Barbick.
The intended receiver was Terry Burton. He had the ball, but he didn't expect a sandwich from the hill. 1st and 10, Joliet. The handoff is to James Irby, and he is to midfield for a 5-yard gain.
And Coach Stone kept Allstar out in this series and using, again, his depth in the backfield as little Irby just runs the ball up the field and makes 5 yards on that down.
James Irby has rushed 7 times for 28 yards, and in only the second half, Brian Holman, the fullback, has rushed 9 times for 47 yards. Out of the eye, handoff is to Irby again. He is to the 45.
He might go.
Inside the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, and he's to the 4-yard line.
And the crowd goes crazy again as little Corky Irby just comes down that sideline just like a barrel of fun running down there. He's got a tremendous hand as you see the depth of that Catholic High backfield. Irby comes in there and Horn makes a great smash, gets to the outside, and only the great speed of that secondary, number 38, comes to drag him down with a fine tackle. Tom Anderson, a 5'10", 180-pound linebacker, had to sprint down the field to stop Irby from scoring on that play.
A 41-yard scamper by James Corky Irby to the 8. Handoff again is to Irby. He is to the 5 as he busts his way to the 5-yard line, a pickup of 2 or 3 yards on the scamper.
And this is a big series, as this will just put the cap on a great day for the Hilltoppers, and they know that they're going to score on this and seal this victory so they can rest for next week's big game.
Mike Allstott is on the sideline, but I'll tell you the way Irby and Holman are running, and they've got Kinsella blocking in the backfield. Jeff Pucell also back there. It's Irby again. He is inside the 5 to the 3 as Joliet Catholic continues to go up the middle, and that is one thing they have stressed all week. We're not changing a lot. We're just going to go at the middle, at the strength of the Leo defense of Pritchett and Spivey in the middle, and the linebackers of Anderson and Glover.
And this is a key 3rd down play. Mike Allstott on the sideline doesn't have his helmet on, so Coach Stone is going with what he has in that backfield that brought him down.
3rd and goal from the 2. Irby again, and he is stopped for no gain.
And Coach Stone looks down the sideline for Mike Allstott.
A big decision here, a field goal would put Leo 3 touchdowns back.
Well, you also look at that clock. What he wants to do, he knows this play, even if they don't score, they will put Leo back on the 1-yard line or somewhere close, and they've got to go 98 yards for a touchdown. But look for some trickery here as they may get a fake to Irby, and Netlow might boot that ball.
It's Irby again, nothing fancy here.
He's
at his feet.
Oh, he's
no, he is stopped at the 1. Stopped at the 1-yard line. His knee was down, but what a great effort. It is not a touchdown, but James Irby comes off after a great effort down on the field. Irby now with 12 carries for 77 yards. He did the yeoman's work on this drive, and Leo gets the ball back with 2:49 left in the game and down by 15.
And a great call by the side judge. Irby's knee did hit down on that play. As you see, his right knee on the replay was touched momentarily on the ground. That's all it takes. As he just touched, and then he bounced out of there. Right there, there's his knee down, and as you see from the side, the referee made his call all the way.
1st and 10 for Corey Rogers and Leo, and he busts it out to the 6-yard line.
Well, they've got to score quick, and they know Corey Rogers is a quick scorer, but he's got to run a long way with only 2 minutes and the clock ticking, 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, that the Leo Lions know they've got to put that ball up in the air deep in their own territory. And that gives that defense a chance to just sit back there and just do what they want to do, and that is rush the quarterback.
2nd down and 6 from the 6. Back to throw is Cook. Gets out of the pocket, fumbles the football. It's loose, still loose, a big pileup. And I believe Leo has recovered the football. Great rush by Chris Basil and Tom Snyder, getting the ball loose from Jason Cook and almost recovering the ball themselves.
And boy, this is like a bear defense. When they've got you down and those hungry linemen know they can get to you, they smell blood again. And they're just ripping their heads back and just taking that offensive line deep in the territory and just chasing Jason Cook all over the backfield.
1:30 left to go. Joliet Catholic on its way to its attempt at a record 7th state football championship. Cook in trouble, and he goes down inside the 5. Jason Cook just cannot get away from the starters for Joliet.
And they are just playing tough defense down there. They know what they have to do. They can just sit there. Those linebackers are just coming at and just smashing Leo's a fine team. They'll end their series here in Memorial Stadium, but a lot of credit to Coach Foster and a great Leo team that just met a greater Hilltopper team that was ready today.
It'll be a 4th and a punt, and while we have a chance, I'd like to thank all the great people behind the scenes that bring you these telecasts every week. Our executive producer is Roger Connor at Channel 15. Our director of our games of the week is Frank Vance. His bone break returns inside the 40, 35-30, and he's out of bounds at the 28. Frank Vance has been our director and producer and does yeoman's work from behind the scenes, as does his assistant and our replay person, Jamie Evans. Working the CG this year has been Jenny Maldonado. Our cameras up on top, Daryl Richmond and John Dahlberg. And the field cameras, Bob Ryder, Dave Gresich, Larry Maloney, and Maurice Gregory. These are the people, folks, who do such a great job. So many people come up to me during the year, Mac, and I'm sure you've received the same, complimenting our telecast here on Channel 15 of high school and college sports. But I'll tell you what, they're the people that make us look good. And I just want to sincerely thank them for their great work and all the hours they put in. They are all volunteers, even Bob Ryder.
And I concur. They've done a tremendous job of being on top of plays. Their instant replays have been tremendous. And when they've seen the action from sideline to sideline and from fan to fan.
Number 59, David Glover, the junior inside linebacker, being helped off the field. We'd also like to thank the athletic director for Leo, the head football coach, Bob Foster. This is his final game as head coach of Leo. He has been the athletic director for over 16 years. And also our thanks to the athletic director at Joliet Catholic, Father Bill Wirt, and of course, his mighty assistant, the one and only Sister Morris.
And she does a great job, too, of keeping him in line and letting him know what he has to do.
Sister Morris was out here, Matt, to the crowd before they started the game, yelling to the fans, just pray.
Well, it helped, and it worked.
The seconds are ticking down, and Joliet Catholic will win this 27-12, and will go on to their 7th state championship football game. The game's over, and the Hilltoppers win. 27-12, defeating Leo in the 4A semifinal. Joliet Catholic will play in the 4A state championship game on Friday night at Hancock Stadium in Normal, 7 o'clock. It will be televised here in Will County on Sports Channel Plus, which is channel 51 in Will County. Stay with us. Our post-game coverage of our high school football game of the week is coming up next.
From 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the main office. A limited number of tickets.
Miranda Francisco, perhaps the most remarkable dancer in the world. She once suffered hundreds of seizures a day, but thanks to an operation performed at a Children's Miracle Network hospital, in which the entire left side of Miranda's brain was removed, she now walks, talks, and even dances, pretty much like other kids her age. And if you don't think that's remarkable, we have half a mind to tell you otherwise. The Children's Miracle Network, it's working wonders.
For a whole variety of reasons, that type of a solution is totally unacceptable to the people in this county.
Of course, the gang violence in the city of Joliet has increased recently, so that's the worst part of it.
Go to the Kankakee River for water. We have met those tests.
Could you talk briefly about what's the economics of that?
You have seen this site before, 6 times before, as a matter of fact, and now a magical 7th time to the state championships in football for Joliet Catholic. They win here over Leo 27-12. Back down on the field for our post game. I'm Joe Passion, along with just 2 of the great heroes of today's win over the Lions. With me is Jim Lynch, number 41. He had 41 yards rushing today to go along with his jersey number. He also had some spectacular hits on specialty team coverage play. And Mike Jones, who really was chasing a very slippery quarterback Jason Cook and Corey Rogers around all day today. First off, about the offense. It seemed like you guys just really went in the beginning to run and eat out the clock, and you did that very effectively all afternoon.
Well, our offensive line was handling them on the offensive line, taking care of their defensive line, no problems. So we just kept running at it. Mike had a great game as always, and we just kept shoving the ball right down their throat because they really couldn't stop us.
Defensively, you had Corey Rogers, sometimes player of the year, to deal with Jonesy, and you guys really keyed on him very well and forced him to do a lot of things I'm sure he didn't want to. Tell us how you did that.
Well, the first drive of the game, he tried running a sweep outside, and they pitched it off to him. I turned it in, and I heard players from Providence say, you can't arm attack this guy. It was true because I reached my arms out, and he dashed off for a 6-yard touchdown. He's everything he's cut out to be.
It is certainly true that although he's got great speed and explosion, he rushed for only 60 yards total today. 50 of those were in the first half. He had 95 yards in pass receiving and 2 touchdowns. One a 60-yard touchdown for a score, and one a 90-yard for a score from a pass. But because of minus yardage, he also was hurting there. Specialty teams did a great job today, too. You guys really covered up.
Well, our special teams need to pick itself up a little bit because last couple of games have been getting a lot of yards, especially on the kickoff return. So our kickoff return got very hyped up this game, and they weren't going to let anyone get any more yards than they had to.
And today's game made it a little bit more difficult because you had to kick away from Rogers all the time.
Well, we figured that we always knew where the ball was going. They didn't, and we are all hyped up. Everyone ran down there the hardest. Everyone gave it their all. We were very pumped up for this game.
The linebackers today really had a tough chore toward the end when they had to cover 3, 4, 5 receivers. from the line, you guys proved you chased Jason Cook, their quarterback, around a lot, too.
Well, in the first half, John Horn had a real good game. He was getting double-teamed, looking tight end coming down. He still contained Rodgers. As far as the linebackers go, Trent and Romper played great man-to-man coverage on the receivers.
And the secondary, of course, they do a great job because of the pressure you guys seem to put on the quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, Scott Wang is everything's cut out to be. You know, he like everybody's doubted him at the beginning of the season. You know, he ran steers here and he did sprints all summer, and now he's all conference all areas. So he proved everybody wrong.
And Preet almost had that one pick off. Let me ask you about going downstate. You guys, I'm sure, have heard the stories over the years of the great teams that have gone before you. What does it mean for you guys now to be one of those great Joliet Catholic teams?
Well, ever since freshman year, our whole team has been told that we have what it takes to go downstate. They never let us believe anything else, so right now we feel we can go down there, no problems.
I know a lot of you guys went downstate 3 years ago when Jim Boyder's '87 team won the state championship. A feel for it at that time, Mike?
Oh yeah, only thing I wish for, I knew we had the potential to do it. Only thing I wish for is they had 2 losses at that time, and I was hoping we could be undefeated, and we are, and now we got the chance. I think it's every senior's dream to stay on Illinois, go to state championship, but only few get the chance, and we got it, and I think we're going to take advantage of it.
Well, guys, good luck this week. We'll see you down there at Hancock Stadium. I'll let you go. Congratulations to Jim Lynch and to Mike Jones and all the Hilltoppers for some great spectacular play here today. And we'll have Coach Bob Stone when we return with our continuing post-game coverage of our final high school football game of the week in just a moment.
Fact. We're into the football season and the Chicago Bears are storming through the Midway. Fact. There's a new weekly television series providing fans with a keener insight into Bears football. Fact. The program features Tom Thayer and Mike Tomczak, and each week they'll be joined by a Bears teammate. Fact. It's shot on location at TNT's restaurant in Joliet. Bear Facts. Join us every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on WCTV Channel 15.
The best in community sports you can't beat. Local cable programming. TV that hits home.
When Bob Stone got the head football coaching job here at Joliet Catholic, he had to walk in the shadows of Jim Boyder and Gordy Gillespie. For him, now he joins that great shadow. That's got to be a great sense of pride for you.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's not something I thought of a lot, but you thought, you know, the state championships that Gordy won, and then Jimmy being, you know, we're being fortunate enough to go downstate in his second year of coaching, you know, it's one of those things that I didn't know if it ever happened. You know, as a head coach, you want to get down there, but it doesn't happen to that many people.
And now you and you're early in your career. Mac, you coached for a lot of years. You know how tough it is, and some guys never get there.
Well, with a great offensive, defensive line and all those kids you got, I'd love to have the coach that team. But Stoney's done a great job with his kids. Bob, one thing I'd say, you know, standing on the sidelines going to the kids from Leo were going off the field at the end of the game, and the Catholic High fans were cheering and clapping for the kids that they single file through with their heads down. And when they saw that, they just raised their heads. So it shows a great family that you have here at Catholic High.
Thank you very much, Mac. Yeah, you know, we have great fans. You know, we get some incidents everyone like any fans, but our people respect, you know, good teams, you know, in every sport. And they saw a good team out there in Leo. They saw a great running back, and you know, our people appreciate that.
A little bit about the game today. You controlled the clock and the ground game in the first half, and that really seemed to set the tone for the game.
Yeah, you know, we didn't know for sure if we could do that, but our game plan was to run right at them, to try to negate their quickness, and also to run at them to just try to keep Rodgers off the field as much as we could.
And I thought your defense played well in containing him and doing the things they had to do, what you call a scramble or something in there, to contain Rodgers from getting to the outside, and Jason Cook.
Yeah, we did a real good job. You know, some of the other people from the newspaper told me that with the 65-yard run that he had for the touchdown, he still only had like 66 yards total rushing, you know, so except for the 90-yard pass play, you know, we shut down people of the best back in the state, according to some people.
And certainly one of the great aspects of your depth showed today. Holman in the second half had over 60 yards rushing, and Irby a 70-yard rushing game, and also with Lynch and Pucell. It seemed like Allstott got chances to breathe today.
Yes, he did. And let's face, everybody knows Mike's our #1 man, but the thing is that when they start watching Mike, you get James to pop, or you get a Jimmy Lynch gain some yardage. What happened with Brian Holman, he had the bruised thigh, and we didn't want to use him, and we felt we had to, that we had to run up the middle with our fullback, and he came in, and he sat for half. I think he was a little ready to play football.
One of the great concerns that people were saying that last drive when Irby scored the touchdown, Mike Allstott was sitting on the sideline. Is he injured, or is he just got nicked up, or you wanted to rest him for next week?
Well, excuse me. Part of it was he got a little bang on his shin, and he wanted to keep playing. Mike could keep playing, keep getting handoffs no matter what. And I knew that even if Jim didn't even get the long run, that they had to score 3 times, so I just was going to rest Mike in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Tell us a little bit about the plans for this week, what the routine will be for the team before it goes downstate on Friday, and how much of those plans include Darren Freeman?
Well, I don't know. Darren, I was a little upset with Darren because Darren assured me he was okay. Then when he got hurt, kid came up to me and said, Darren said he was hurt at the beginning of the game. We're just going to have to assume that Darren's not going to be ready to play next week, I think. And tomorrow we'll bring the kids in tomorrow and we'll watch film, and then we'll go to a regular practice week. We'll have to practice Thanksgiving morning and then make the trip down on Friday.
Okay, you've always admitted you've been a nervous type. How are you going to stay in control of yourself all week long, waiting for the big game on Friday night?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, with some of the games we've had in the playoffs, I really wasn't that nervous today. I mean, I was very, very anxious, but to be honest with you, I can't predict anything. I didn't know that he was going to score in the second play, but I just laid down, and I could just see us running down the field. I could just see Allstott getting the ball and getting 5 or 6 a clip, and it just ended up that way.
Congratulations. A great football game here today, Bob.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you downstate. All right, Bob Stone, the head football coach for Joliet Catholic, and the 3rd coach in its school history for the 7th time Joliet Catholic going to the state finals. That's quite a tradition.
It is, and it just goes on, and he's got some kids coming back, but they've gotten there through great coaching and a great offensive defensive line, and I think they have a great chance of being successful in their game against Geneseo.
Our statistician, Matt Prisby, also tells us that on the day, Mike Allstott, 28 carries, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and as we mentioned earlier, Corey Rogers, just about 65 yards rushing, despite his big 65-yard touchdown run early in the game, but he also had some minuses, and that's where the defense came in.
Well, that defense was all over him. Like we said, that help defense, just grab hold and somebody's going to help them. And John Horn played a great game. But we're talking about a great back. I'll tell you right now, Mike Allstott, it makes my All-MAC team because he's a crunch man. When he comes in there, he knows what he has to do. And as Coach Stone said, he was hurt, but he still wanted to run that football.
Okay, now are we going to see the complete lineup of the All-MAC team on Frank Vance's Inside Local Sports Show next Monday?
I'm going to mail it to him tonight. He'll get it fresh in the morning.
I'll get to the fax number. By the way, we want to remind you again, the high school football championships will be seen live on Sports Channel Plus on your cable systems throughout Chicagoland. Here in Will County, that is Channel 51. And the 4A state championship game between Joliet Catholic and the winner of the Geneseo-Carbondale game, and I believe unofficially it is Geneseo at this time, even as we speak to you, will be on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff from Hancock Stadium down in Normal, Illinois, home of the Illinois State Redbirds, and that should be a great game. It will be on AstroTurf, and as always the custom, it'll be either rainy or very, very cold.
Every year something happens down there. We've had beautiful weather for these playoffs here in Joliet. Hopefully it'll be some fine weather where we can see some outstanding football downstate at Illinois State.
All right, congratulations to Bob Foster and the Leo Lions. They close out a great year, their best year ever in football at 11-2. And, of course, to Bob Stone and the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers, 13-0 now as they go for number 14 and a 7th state championship. One final note I want to leave us with. I have an opportunity to travel all over the country in my freelance reporting jobs, and never, and I mean this sincerely, these are the greatest sports fans. I'm not just talking about Joliet Catholic sports fan, but Will County sports fans. You brought up one of the reasons why a moment ago.
And I agree. I stood there on the sideline talking to my brother at the end of the game near the dugout where the Leo players were coming down, and they were coming single file, and the Catholic High fans formed a corridor where they come through, and as they came through for a man, they just cheered and clapped, and the tears were rolling down the eyes out of the eyes of the Leo players, but they held their head up and smiled, and it was just something great to see the emotion that the fans can give appreciation for a fine football team.
Mac, it has been my pleasure. Always a ball to be up there with the Big Mac and our telecast. I look forward to being back here with you again next season on more high school and college football games.
It has been a great season. I've really enjoyed it. I've grown through this, and you know, and talking up there. I've enjoyed some great football, and being with you has been a pleasure.
All right, and again, we thank the entire crew here at Continental Cablevision for their great work all season long. I, for one, will see you down on the sidelines at Hancock Stadium, handling the microphone for Sports Channel from the sidelines of all 6 football championships, and I will be weathered well and will dress well. We'll see you then. The final score again here today, the 4A semifinal. Joliet Catholic wins over Leo 27-12. I'm Joe Passion. Have a great...
Now watch the hit coming up center of your screen. Look out. Oh, that cleared the way for Loyola's Jack Preco's 24-yard touchdown run. That put Loyola Academy in front 7-6. But in the fourth quarter, Thornton's Greg Miller rolled out and threw 30 yards to Barry Starks. He's got it. Winning touchdown 13-8. And the Wildcats reach the finals in Class 6A. 4A, Joliet Catholic home against Leo. Great day for Leo's Corey Rogers and some great moves. Watch the cutback by Rogers coming up here. And hello, goodbye. Just slips by. 66-yard touchdown for Rogers. He scored 2 of them, but Leo led for just a few minutes because Joliet Catholic's Mike Allstott was once again the man. A pair of touchdowns and a 166-yard day. The Hilltoppers won it 27-12 to advance. First of all, 6A winners. We saw Thornton. They'll play Downers Grove North, which won a big game against a tough East St. Louis.
Like that at all. Notre Dame led it 21-14 in the fourth quarter when Tony Seca hit Al Golden at the 4-yard line. Al Golden with a spin move goes in for the score, tying the game at 21-all with a little over 7 minutes left. A little over a minute to go now, and Notre Dame's Rick Meyer is picked off by Darren Perry. He returns it to the Irish 19-yard line. The Lions ran the clock down and then let Craig Fayak nail down a 24-21 upset victory with a 34-yard field goal with 4 seconds left. It was Notre Dame's second home loss of the year. Both teams now 8-2. Iowa clinched a tie for the Big Ten title, but still needs a victory over Minnesota or an Ohio State loss to Michigan to smell the roses. Illinois beat Indiana 24-10 over in Bloomington. Jason Verduzco passed for 236 yards for the Illini. Here he hits Gus Palma for 28 yards and the Illini's first touchdown of the game. Howard Griffith broke a 10-10 tie in the third quarter with a 9-yard run. Here it is for a touchdown. Griffith ran for 128 yards. He tied Red Grange's school record of 31 career TDs. The victory keeps the Illini in a third-place tie with Michigan and Michigan State. Iowa still in first place. Ohio State still in second. Wisconsin now has lost 12 in a row. Michigan won the Little Brown Jug, beating Minnesota. Michigan State a winner over Northwestern, but the Wildcats hung tough. Second-ranked Colorado big over Kansas State. Miami blew out Boston College. Unbeaten Georgia Tech won a trip to the Citrus Bowl. Once beaten BYU clinched the WAC title. Texas moved within a victory of clinching a Cotton Bowl bid. Maryland upset Virginia, and Virginia lost quarterback Sean Moore and its final play of the game. A dislocated thumb. He'll be out 3 weeks. David Klingler passed for an NCAA record 11 touchdowns as Houston beat up on 1AA team Eastern Washington. Tennessee has the inside track now for the SEC title, beating Ole Miss. USC wins in the final minute against UCLA, and Northern Illinois winds up its season at 6-5. Well, Downers Grove North advanced to the 6A state final by ending the 26-game winning streak of East St. Louis, ranked number 3 in the entire country. The Trojans held on for a 28-26 victory when the Flyers failed on a 2-point conversion in the final minute. Both teams won in at 12-0. Downers Grove North jumped out to an early lead when Jeremy Sample went in for the touchdown. It was 7-7 when Chad Isaacson goes up the middle for the touchdown. That gave Downers Grove North a 14-7 lead. Then it was 14-14 when Dan Marino scored to give Downers Grove North the 21-14 lead. The Trojans went on to win it 28-26 to advance to the 6A final against Thornton. Thornton paid a visit to Loyola. First half was scoreless. Then Thornton's David Wright went in from the 3 following a Loyola turnover, and the Wildcats led it 7-0. Thornton led 7-6. Greg Miller back, hits Barry Starks with a 30-yard pass, giving the Wildcats a 13-6 lead. They win at 13-8 to go 11-2 and make their second straight trip to the 6A final. Out in Wheaton, Red Grange's old school. In fact, the field's named after him. Wheaton Central upset previously unbeaten Deerfield. That was Tom Sion scoring the game's only touchdown in the second quarter as Wheaton goes to the 5A against Mount Carmel. In Class 4A, unbeaten Joliet Catholic beat Leo, but Leo had the play of the game. It was 1st and 25 when Corey Rogers took that pass from Jason Cook and then broke it 89 yards for a touchdown. That got Leo back in it at 19-12. Joliet Catholic Catholic still leading. But the day belonged to the Hilltoppers and Mike Alstott. He ran for 166 yards on 28 carries. That touchdown put the lid on the Hilltoppers' 27-12 victory as they advance against Geneseo. And there's Mount Carmel going for their third straight title in 5A. In the Public League Championship, Robeson upset Lane Tech. The difference is safety in the second quarter. Well, the Blackhawks extended their unbeaten streak to 7 games tonight, winning 7-2 over the Quebec Nordiques. Michel Goulet, a former Nordique, opened the